another planet? Is Janet from 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 another planet?
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show. And hopefully tonight I'm going to have a lot of good shit to share. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But yeah, I'm waiting to see whether Ruben or Bruce will be joining me. I'm not sure. So if they do, that'd be great. I sent them links, but can't really do anything about it if they're not here now. They didn't say anything, so I'm not 100% sure whether or not they were gonna be able to join me. But I have a few things I wanted to start off with that was very interesting when I saw them, and they came across my timeline on X. And there's a couple, I think, that I have that are from TikTok. But there's a lot of good stuff because there's a lot of people that are still trying to fight for us and want us to see the outcome that we feel like we voted for. So they're standing up for it. They're trying to. At least they're going public and letting you know that they're doing the best they can with what they have, and calling out others that aren't doing the best they can. So here's one of them. Hold on, let me shut that. Okay, here we go. Make sure it's turned up.
Well, Senate Majority Leader John Thune has said that, he would love to pass the SAVE Act, but unfortunately, he just does not have the votes. In fact, according to Majority Leader Thune, he doesn't even have the votes to enforce a talking filibuster, which is crazy because there are enough Republicans in the Senate to enforce that. I wonder what the issue is. But, hey, look, that's okay, John. I get it. Nothing you can do. By the way, when you start asking for money for re-election campaigns for people like Senator Lisa Murkowski, Senator John Curtis of Utah, yourself in South Dakota, I want you to know we'd love to, but there's just nothing we can do. I mean, not for you. Definitely for you guys as primary opponents, though.
I love that. And that's good. And if we share this kind of information to let other people see that, that they're calling out the people that are just sitting there doing nothing. And I'm starting to see more and more posts about certain people that aren't hitting the gavel, when they're not in session, because every time they do that, they stop Trump from being able to appoint his own judges and stuff. And they're just dragging their feet. And look how long, it's already been 2 years and they haven't even got all Trump's judges in. So they're not doing shit, and they're not signing anything or sending him anything to sign. He's having to do everything, almost everything, with executive order. And the fact that they won't pass the SAVE Act when all it is doing is trying to say only American citizens can vote, and a few other things like that in that act. That's it. And I can't believe there's anyone that doesn't think that that's a good idea. You can't go, any of us cannot go over the border into Canada or Mexico and vote. It's illegal. But we're supposed to be wide open for anyone to come here and vote for whoever they want. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But it's sad, but that's where we are. But let me say hi to a few people that are in the chat. Hi, Jackie Blue. I really appreciate it. And yes, I need good luck every night because I make so many mistakes. But yeah. Well, hello, you also, baby girl. Thank you for coming in. And hello, Screaming Raven, Omen Screaming Raven. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you supporting me. And even if you just come in and say hello, I really appreciate that because, I'm going to do it whether anyone is here or not, just because this is what I do on Fridays. This is my social life. So, I hardly ever miss a Friday night or a Saturday gaming all day Saturday. Starting at 12:30 tomorrow, I'll be playing DD. So if you want to see me live, just tune in. Rolling dice, and I crochet or whatever in between my turn or whatever type of thing. But it's a lot of fun and I enjoy it. And that's what I do on the weekend. Well, hello. Thank you for stopping in, Angus. And yes, of course, I'm from Venus. All women are from Venus and men are from Mars, right? So that's what I say. And, and I do have a couple shows where I do dress up in my true form. That's what I tell everyone. So you have to check it out if you haven't seen one of them. But go look under my playlist for like Cosmic Chat or anything to do with, outer space. And I'll be wearing my costume for that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. Well, hello, Lloyd Christmas. How are you this evening? Hope you're having a great weekend or the start of a great weekend and staying out of trouble. It's not 2 years until next election, technically. Well, yeah, I know. But you know what I mean. They've been doing nothing. I mean, hardly anything. They're dragging their feet like there's a ball and chain wrapped around it. You know what I mean? It's pathetic and sad. They didn't do this for Obama. or Biden. They were, boy, everybody was gung ho, even the Republicans. So, or the Republicans on paper, I'll put it that way. So yeah, it's pretty sickening, but oh well. But they do need to pass it. They really do. Earth Girls Are Easy. Yeah, that's a good movie. You know, I've had that on the list for almost 2 years, and Bruce still hasn't brought it up. He keeps dragging his feet. You know what, though? And I've watched some pretty lame movies from Bruce. So you'd think you'd get to watch a few funny movies that I asked for, but we'll see. Hopefully I get in there. I wear my regular clothes tomorrow. It's Sunday. Well, I'll dress up, and I haven't really decided yet. It's the last Harry Potter, not Harry Potter, Harry, Dirty Harry movie that I haven't seen. So I haven't gone through. I have to just look at some pictures and see what women there are. There's been a couple of spaghetti westerns where I dressed up as a guy with a mustache. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I dress up different outfits, trying to be in theme for the show, for the movie review. But it's fun, and that's why I like to do it. That's on Sunday. But Civ and TBD, what's that? I don't understand. Sorry. I have no idea. Oh, you're never out of trouble? Yeah, that's what most young people are, always in trouble. But as you get older, you're going to realize that it doesn't pay enough to be in trouble all the time. Oh, yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? It's just not happening long enough. And remember, it'll be what, next year, 6 months from now or whatever, before they even get out of office. So what damage are they going to do just to hurt Trump on the way out? You see what I mean? Even though Trump isn't the one that voted for him. You know, the people of their state are the ones that voted to vote them out and voted for someone else. But they'll take it out on the rest of us, because anyone that's America first, like I am, is what the people should get, what they vote for. And even if you're in a state and I don't agree with what's passed, I live with it. You know, because as long as I feel the elections are safe and not cheating, you know, that they didn't cheat to get there, I just have to deal with whatever the people chose to have, you know. There's a few things that were voted here that I'm kind of sad that we didn't get, but maybe the next election we might get it, because, you know, they're going to realize over time that, wow, maybe we should have done, because it could help the economy where we live. But, you know, that's just the way it is. But, yeah. So I'm going to get on to the next subject that I have for tonight. Just give me 1 second. All right. Let's go. Let's see. It is, I think it's this one. Number 10. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, here we go. Here's something good. But before I play it, I'm going to play this because I think it deserves it. Good stuff. Hold on, let me get over here to it. Okay, it says the Surgeon General of Florida just announced all vaccine mandates in Florida will be ended. The room erupted when he said it, and all of them, not just COVID, but all of them. Every last one is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Who am I or anyone else to tell you what you should put in your body? So I think he's great, but I'm going to play his little video here for you. So here we go.
But what I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're going to make, that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them. All of them. Every last one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Every last one of them. All of them. Every last one of them. Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Okay? Who am I as a government or anyone else, or who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body? Who am I to tell you what your child should put in your body? I don't have that right. Your body is a gift from God. What you put into your body is because of your relationship with your body and your God. I don't have that right. Government does not have that right. They want you to believe they have that right. And unfortunately, they've been successful.
Yeah, and I'm great. I think it's great. It's a start. It's one state, but it's a big state, and it's a popular state. Everybody wants to go there. Well, almost everybody for their vacations. So it's just nice to hear a state that's fighting for the people for a change and choosing what the people are asking for. And especially after the huge mess that we had over the last 5-6 years with all of that, the fact that the people will have the choice to get it. Because I'm sure he's saying it's not mandated, which means if you feel comfortable with your doctor's choices or decisions for you, then you will still be able to do it. And if you want your kids to get it, then you can still do that. But it's going to be on you. You see what I mean? It's going to be your decision to do it, whether you want to do it or not. And I was trying to find out which one this is, because there's another one I'd love to share after that, because I think it goes with it. I'm trying to find it real quick because I want to put it out here for you. Gosh, where did I put it? Sorry, got a bunch of links open. Okay, here it is, number 10. Okay, number 10. I'm going to close this one real quick and open this other one. Just give me a second. Got to open it. I wish there was a way you could do one right after the other, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So I could not do that one. I think it is, yeah, I think here it is. This is the reason why I totally agree with what he is proposing. This is a mom, and she's at her doctor's office, okay? And she's not filming the people in the office. She's filming herself, but she's filming it so that you can hear what she's asking about her daughter's vaccine. Her daughter's 10, and I'm going to share this link for this in the chat so that you can share it with other people if you decide to. But I'm going to make it big here so you can hear what she's saying. This is, to me, this is very, very important. So here we go.
And I can give you the phone number. That's the only thing that I can give you.
I don't understand. You're telling me that it's safe to give my 10-year-old this vaccine, but you won't let me look at the ingredients in it?
Yeah, that's the
Turn
only
it up
thing that
some.
I can tell you. Did they give you the website earlier?
No. What website? For the CDC? Yeah, I know how to navigate the CDC, but
Okay. And did they give
I'm
you the,
here and y'all are telling me, oh, it's safe to give your daughter this. So I want to read it. I want to see what's in it.
I could give you the number and then you can call them.
Okay, sounds crazy. Y'all don't keep those? Y'all just throw them away, or why would we not be able to make a copy of that?
Yeah, I can't give you a copy of that
But why?
because I can't.
I mean, for what reason though? It's
So
not
that's-
against HIPAA. It's not
Well, because I guess you've been discharged from the practice already.
right because I refused a vaccine.
Yes, and I can't give you anything anymore. Once you're discharged from the practice, I can't give you any more information. So the only thing I can tell you is you can call that 1-800 number, and they
Yeah, but if I give her this shot, then they would see her as a patient again. So I want to read
yes
about the vaccine that y'all are telling me is safe to give
Yes.
her because she's been a patient here for 10 years.
If you go on that and on the website, you can look it up under the CDC, and they'll give you everything that's on there.
Okay.
Everything that we have on the books, it'll give you that on there too.
Okay.
Did you get the
I
website?
just, so let's say I was still a patient here and my daughter hadn't been kicked out and I asked for the vaccine insert, you still wouldn't give it to me?
They'll give you the information that we have here.
But y'all print that. I don't want that. I want what comes in the box.
Yes, I can't give you that.
Okay.
Yes,
That's a little strange. You think I could get it at the health department?
probably.
Okay, maybe I'll try down there.
Yeah, but like that's why I'm giving you. That's why I'm giving you this website. The website you go on it, and you'll go directly onto it.
Okay.
That's a beauty. Yeah, so that's the phone number and that's the website.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Pretty sad that they won't even let you read what's inside the box, but they're willing to poke it into you or your kid. Pretty sad, I think. I was very lucky when it came to the vaccine. Oh, well, welcome.
Hello.
How
Sorry.
are you?
Who are you talking to?
I am talking to the viewers.
We're on already?
Yeah, we're already on. I started a few minutes
What?
early tonight because I figured I might as well just get going and get it started. But the thing is that I have so many things. I got like 30 tabs, so I got a lot. But
30 tabs. Oh no.
so
Okay. I'll be here in the background then.
okay, I just played a woman. She had her phone on her while she was took her 10-year-old daughter to get a vaccine they said she had to have from the office that she used to take her daughter to get shots and stuff. And she asked if she could see the insert for the vaccine they were going to give her, and they said they wouldn't share it with her. So I was like, they told her she had to go to a website and look it up herself. So I thought that was pretty interesting how they're willing to stick you with it, but they're not willing to share the information that they're supposedly getting that it's safe, right? But that's what I was about.
But that's what the sad fact is, and I've dealt with this already now since I've had this, dealing with the hospitals that are going on and right now.
Yeah.
That it's horrific. That they, oh God, now my computer's all messed up. Hold on. So what's going on here is when Danelle was sick in the hospital, they give medication, and what I'd had to do is go, what are you giving her? And they would tell me. So I didn't say I want to know what's in it. I went to go look at the stuff. So essentially, how'd you say it? Buyer beware. You have to have the initiative to ask, and if they say no, you can post it all you want. But what's going to happen is that information is. I don't know. I have one of them, but somewhere. But they give it to you it's folded up. When you open it up, it's like an origami. It's like a big sheet, like a gigantic sheet of paper, and it has everything in it. So how the hell are you supposed to read all that? So, of course, I do my research and look, you do Google, do ChatGPT, do Claude, do Grok, do all of it. I just do all of them. I said, okay, here's this medication. I want you all to figure it out. I don't ask one, I ask multiple, and I ask myself. I do the research. I look it up. I look at all the medical journals and all that stuff. So that's what I try to do. You have to do this. You have to empower yourself. That's very critical,
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
so.
and the thing is that when I went when I was in the hospital, just because of everything, all the stress, I kid you not, the nurse came in, and I was staying overnight, and then they said the nurse will come in here to do your evaluation. And I said, okay, aren't you my nurse? And you go, yes, I'm the charge nurse here. The admitting nurse will come in shortly. So when they came in, I'm joking. I'm leading up to the point because they did tell me what's going to happen. They wheeled in a robot with a camera on it and a video screen, and they put it right in front of me. And then the screen popped on, and then the camera was reversed. And it went around. It turned around. I looked right at me. So my nurse was actually somebody in a call center. She had the headset on. She could have been home. Who knows? But that was my admitting nurse. My admitting nurse wasn't a real person. Well, it was a real person, but it was somebody who was online. Who knows? She could have been AI. Who knows? Because again, her background was all she had a filter. So she had to be from home right there, but had her headset on. She's going through all the information. Yeah. So again, the medical, and on top of that, they did an ultrasound of my heart. And what they did, that they did the ultrasound, and I mentioned to them, they say that these ultrasounds are going to be done by AI. And then she goes, yeah, but the AI screws it up all the time. It's always wrong. And that's what happens because you're seeing that now a lot. So I know it's a segue to what you're saying, but yeah, definitely when you basically have to figure out where do you want to live now. And again, this is where it comes down to, we are the United States of America. Now, who in their right mind would go to live in California? I have no idea. But that's the whole thing. If California wants to do California things, then be California. But what's happening now, and you see it in Utah, Arizona, coming to Texas as well. Those three states I see it, where you're seeing these people come into these towns now from California because the taxes were so high. They come to Texas, they come to Arizona. Colorado Colorado was a little bit, it was purple. But now it's deep blue because all of the idiots come to the states and they insist on, we'll have it our way now. And I go, no, don't. So they're screwing everything up. So it's like, but again, it's how'd you say it? We have to basically say, I'm not a Republican. I'm not. I'm a conservative. I am a conservative. And that's the distinction I always say. Says, what are you? I am a conservative. Me, it's a philosophy I have. I do my things. I take care of myself. I do what I can for me, and you listen to everybody else, and it's more of a we, they, and this, like you say, it's the story you just said. I saw it. I saw this one where it's like, what's in it? Oh, well, I don't know. They won't do it because they are told not to share information, or they'll lose their job. Or again, you can't question, you can't do anything, and they can't do anything on their own. But if I was nice to that lady who told me about the ultrasound, AI is doing it all wrong. I know. So kill them with kindness. It's the most important thing you ever do. And again, and we have to laugh at this. So then basically, what state was she in? Do you know?
No, I didn't read the chat or anything like that.
It's buyer beware now, because again, we have to see things from the filter of what is the grand scheme, where is she in, what does she do, and all that stuff. That's all I'll say about that. But
yeah, let me find out and see. I'll put that in the chat. So just give me a second. I'm trying to find out where that one.
Yeah, here I am thinking that it's like the clock. I see. I'm sitting here reading and writing. We're not writing. I'm reading. We're not reading and writing. Basically, I basically found well, not found. Basically, 4 text messages that Danelle had sent me, recently. To me, I'm reviewing them. I'm gonna write a poem, and then basically, because her celebration of life funeral is now scheduled for July 25th. So I'm gonna go to Minnesota there. I'm not gonna read it. I'm writing it out. I'm gonna write a book and put something out there just to say it's a closure aspect of it.
Mhm.
Of everything going on.
Well, that'll be great, I think. But what I was going to say was the fact that about the whole shot thing. It's because I played the Surgeon General of Florida saying they're no longer in the state of Florida going to make anyone take vaccines that they don't want to take.
Good.
So, which is great, which is good news, and it's a start. But was it a couple years ago when they started doing the whole rollout with the COVID vaccine?
Right.
When I went in because remember I've been getting allergy shots for over 5 years, and I'm finally done. I haven't had one in over 3 weeks now, so we'll see how it goes. But I took my test, and all my numbers were lower, and because it'd been 2.5 years since I'd been tested, and I went from
is it basically because of the pollen in your area?
Well, yeah, and what you're doing is getting a shot of all these things that you're allergic to: molds and mildews, grasses, danders, from animals, all those different things. Once they test you, because they test you what is really bad in your state, or what's the most things that people are allergic to.
Right.
And then they make it a serum for you, and they put so much of that in it, and it gets stronger and stronger as you are getting the shots, and it helps your body realize that it's not a something you need to worry about, that it's not going to kill you. See what I mean? It's like your body will build up a resistance to it, so you don't have such a severe reaction every time you're around it. But
that's why I always had the 5-second rule. Something falls on the floor, blow on it, and you lead it.
Well, I've done it many times.
It's true. It's true. I there's certain things I'm not gonna like. I know if something's contaminated, I'm not gonna do it. But just wipe it off. It's fine.
But I had went in, and he had told me that he didn't recommend that I get the COVID vaccine, and I was like, okay. And he said, well. He showed me the box, but it was in his office. It wasn't in the lobby. And he opened it, and he took the sheet out, and it was real big, like you said. And there was a name and a couple little things at the top, and the rest was blank.
Yeah.
Because he goes, I don't know what's in it. So and his people, he said, if I gave everyone this injection, I'm not having any patients next week. Because
the thing nowadays is the fact that the legal term for a vaccine has changed. That is the sad fact. That is the sad truth.
Mm-hmm.
You basically look at when we were children, when we got our smallpox and our measles, MRA, all whatever. I didn't get I got the chicken pox, so I got it.
Yeah, I had chickenpox.
And I had one tetanus shot when I stepped on a nail when I was 13 or 14, whatever. But that's it. Boosters I've had before too, but that was basically it. I think the last booster I had was probably back in the 90s, around there, or it was or 80s, I should say. And after that, I was okay until this crap. But I again, not to bring up internet drama, but Chrissy Mayer has talked about it also, that she has been she hasn't vaccinated her son, and she's scared of him going to school and having to do that. So yeah, you just don't send your kids to school like that. No, we're done. Teach.
Well, now in the state of Florida, if they don't mandate it, then that means you don't have to worry about getting your kid all vaccinated to go to school. And if you are one of those people that think that, okay, my kid's vaccinated, why would you be paranoid about a kid that's not vaccinated going to school with your kid. You see what I mean? It's backward.
Yeah, it is backward.
It
is backward. It is backward, but again, it's like there was I don't know if you saw it. I mean, you may have seen it. The one where it's a comparison between the Brady Bunch episode of measles and Law and Order with the measles outbreak. The total difference. Oh, you're sick, stay home, blah blah blah, and then I should look it up because just so you can see it. I'm going.
I saw the Brady Bunch one. It's I've seen it many times where they bring all the kids together so they all can get the measles and get it over with.
Right. Let me see.
Same thing with chicken pox when I was a kid. Because remember, I had 4 sisters, so we all get it. All our friends. We all just hang out and eat lots of ice cream and stuff, and play games and stay home from school. We're all scratchy and itchy and take oatmeal baths, whatever. That's what I remember when I was 5 years old when I had the chicken pox. But it wasn't a big deal. I mean, nobody acted like it was. She said, just don't scratch them. That's what my mom would always say, don't scratch. So yeah, that you're right. But that's what I'm saying. The thing is, you got people now, Joe, is that they're afraid. They're afraid to vaccinate their kids. They weren't around years and years ago when people weren't, doing the whole COVID thing. The COVID thing has really messed up a lot of people to being paranoid of the vaccines. And I had played a interview with the Surgeon General of Florida stating that their state will no longer mandate vaccines. If you don't want to get one, you don't have to get one. I was just explaining it to Joe since hasn't been here that long. But we have a lot of stuff that's going on. And I played Yay, getting some good shit. My little video with the shot glass, good shit on it. Here's some good shit. I played that earlier. So, because I'm playing a couple of really interesting things, like this thing right here that I'm about to show everyone. I think everyone in the chat probably knows who Scott Pressler is. I started following him years and years ago when he was young, when he was cleaning up neighborhoods and stuff. You know, how he got involved doing that and getting the neighborhood to help themselves. And he would get the people to bring the big dumpsters and all that kind of stuff. I just remember that. And now he does a lot of stuff, helping people register to vote. And he's just going gangbusters. But I wanted to share this that came across my timeline. It says Scott Pressler just revealed on Capitol Hill that some senators are worried that it's too much hard work to pass the Save America Act with 50 votes plus JD Vance. Okay, so I like this. I want to play this so you can listen to what he's saying. So let me play this for you. Here we go.
For debate, then we can't get this passed for JD Vance is the 51st vote. But here, what's your name? James. James, here's the problem though. The problem is this is hard work. I have heard the senators simply don't want to do it because if they show that it can be done without 60 votes, then they are going to be expected to work tirelessly on every piece of legislation. And furthermore, the veil and the shroud of the 60 votes is no longer going to hide members of the Senate that will tell you to their face that they support the bill, but then secretly they don't want the bill to go through. This is going to do a lot of good for accountability and transparency by showing the American people it can be done without 60. And I think the senators, pardon me for saying it, are a little bit mad that we're taking away what they've been able to hide behind for hundreds of years, right? Or however long it's been around. So I hope that helps you.
Sorry, I did turn it up. I hope it got a little better. I'm sorry. I saw that in the chat because it was all the way up. It was up all the way up. But basically, this kind of action, a lot of senators don't like. Okay, a lot of people in government do not like people that do this. Okay, because they go around, they talk to a lot of people in government and, here and there without being on camera, and listen to what they're saying. And then a lot of them will say, not wanting to be on camera, that, other people don't want to do it, because if we do this and we can get it pushed through with just 51 votes because of JD Vance, then they'll be mad, because then the people, which is us, taxpayers, will realize that they can get it done with 51 votes if they just work hard and get it done. And that's what he's saying. He's explaining that that's why a lot of them don't want to do it, because if you do it with that few votes and get it passed, they'll be expected to do a lot. But the sad truth is we sent them there to do this shit. We're paying them to do this for us, because that's what we asked for. That's what we voted for them. Yet they don't want to do it. They're too lazy, and they just want to just get rich, as we've been seeing. And that's a couple of videos that I'll be playing here in a little bit. That they screw us, the taxpayer, because we are an endless amount of money apparently to them, and they just want to keep taking from us and paying their way, because I think that when they're there, they can get their hair done, their nails done, they get their shoes shined, they get, they live high on the hog, and it's all off of us. So you and I, the people like Scott Presler, need to tell them this is what we expect. If we have to do this to pay you to go there, then you can go there and do what we put you there to do, period. And I wish that they would just listen to us. And there's quite a few of them that are, like Tim Burchett, Senator Kennedy. There's a few, not a lot. And they're getting more and more verbal. The ones that, few that I really, like to play a lot about on here, is because they're trying to tell you and I, hey, I'm here and this is what's happening. I need more people to stand up and grow some balls or whatever and do their jobs. I just love that. I just wish we had more people that way. And then you have the ones that say blah, blah, blah. But then when you find out later, when they end up not getting this chair back, you know what I mean? So they're not going to be back in there again for another 4 years. They say, well, now that I'm not going to be able to do it, I'm going to name names. Well, why didn't you name names before? Maybe you would have gotten reelected. See, if people would do the job that we put them in there to do, they'll probably get reelected again. You know what I mean? Because the same people that put them there the first time are happy with what they're doing. So we'll vote for them again. But if they suck ass and they're causing us money and heartache, and they're not giving us what we asked for, why in the hell would we vote for them again? That's like going to a restaurant where you get the shittiest food you ever had, but you keep going back and buying the same crap.
You want to know something that's very interesting? I know it now more than ever.
Yeah, sure.
Donald Trump is not a Republican. He's a populist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I mean is, he is from the people. He's always been that way. He
Mm-hmm.
supports whoever is going to do good for him and his people and his area. And if someone can't get it done, he does it himself. He did that in New York. There were deals that no one was doing, and he said, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? No. And then he did it himself, like he's doing right now with the beautification of DC.
Mm-hmm.
MAGA is not Republican or Democrat. It is just MAGA. It's the people who are fed up with everything that's going on. What you have here is a class of elite. You have the senators. They in there for 6 years, and then the way that it used to be that the states would pick the senators. The state legislators would pick the senator. It would not be an elected position. The state would provide that to pick the people.
Mm-hmm.
And the good and the bad now is, as I told you before, in 2000 when Bush was declared the winner, the Democrats said we have to go after the Secretary of States in all these states and make them Democrat. That was the whole thing. So essentially what you have here is you have a class of people that are lobbyists, and you see it with the NGOs, what's going on with USAID, all that stuff, the money that's going in. But the money's going in on both sides. You saw that with they got rid of Massey. It's money to keep. It's Punch and Judy. Republican Democrat is Punch and Judy. It's all it is. It's the show. It's two puppets fighting, and we just watch it. It is not reality. And you have Scott Presler, who is also independent, sees an opportunity because, again, a third party candidate cannot win. One of the parties has to go away or transform. It's happening in real time. It is happening in real time. You see it already. The Democratic Party is no longer a Democratic Party. It is a liberal, Democratic liberal party, socialist party. And the conservative side, it's not very conservative. It's not very Republican either. It's more populist. Mm-hmm. You see that in that. But again, everyone says RD, red, blue. No, that's not. That's the outfit that they have to wear. If I were to run, I'd have to run as a Republican, even though I don't want to. I'm not a Republican. I don't trust these people. John Thune, Lindsey Graham, they're idiots, and a bunch of other ones, out there doing that.
Yep.
They're not, and they did, and again, to basically have a Republican say, "Oh yeah, it's we can't. This you're gonna Save America Act." I went today to join the YMCA. That's right down the street. I walked. Like I made it. And the first thing they say, "Your ID, please." And I went, "I'm joining a gym, and they need my ID." Nobody doesn't have an ID. This whole idea that we're going to change it, and then they were. You could see Elizabeth Warren and a bunch of all these women here were saying, "Oh yeah, what's going to happen? Women when they get married, they're not allowed to vote because they can't. Their names are different." It's people have been getting married since the beginning of time, and we've already worked out this shit. We know what to do. So don't bring it up now that in 2026 you can't change your ID. You can't do these things. It isn't. Yeah, that's the whole thing. We are just being lied to. It is insane, and I'm sick and tired of it. That's why I basically said I am not. I am no longer dealing with this crap. And again, I see it every day where you see these teen takeovers happening. Mm-hmm. It's not teen takeovers. It's black culture going amok, and childless children. Because again, people were served the lie. You don't need a man anymore, and you see it. You see. And the thing is, social media is a disease. It basically says if you have an influencer saying one thing, everyone wants to do that. Back in 2022, I think it was. I was at a Target. And I asked somebody, "What do you want to be? An influencer? Why the fuck do you want to be an influencer? It is the same thing. I want to be a movie star. You want to be an actor, an adult pretender. You just want to just put it out there. It's not real. It's all fake. Mm-hmm. Want to just fake it. Then someone says, "I can give you money," and you're going to do it. The real people who have the intelligence, the design to do stuff. It's like I don't want to. And I'm a hypocrite now because I don't have any money. Joe, apologize. I'm apologizing to Joe particularly because I don't buy comic books. I don't do that. But if I did buy a comic, I would buy it from Joe because it's a real person doing it, as opposed to a corporation doing it. Yeah. And that's why I enjoy watching his art doing it because it's him doing it. He has the process. It's the idea in the head, the characters, and then the way that you lay it out. You draw the character. You have a canon for the character. You have a story behind it, and then you put your vision out. You see an image in your head, and you draw it.
Mhm.
And then now you got people who are basically saying, type this, I want this, and hit enter, and it's like done. But there's no creativity there. It's just prompting. And
Yeah.
then and that's the thing now. The thing now, it's just basically say people give a general idea to do this, and it comes out, and they say, okay, here's what I did. No, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. I'm challenging myself with something that I need to do for poetry. Like I said, Danelle wrote some poetry for me, and and in text messages, and I just read it, but now I want to honor her by looking at it, rewriting it, contextualizing it, adding certain things to it. I'm not going to say, hey, AI, fix this for me. I want to sit down. I want to fix it. I want to write it. I want to write my book. I want to do that. AI is it's an advanced autocorrect. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant here, but the point is, we have a Congress that doesn't work, and I'm sick of it. There has not been a budget since 2000. 2000 was the whole thing. That's when it started. The bombshell, and I didn't trust Bush, but he did win. Okay, up till Trump in 2020, I always voted against somebody. I didn't ever voted for somebody. It was shit, I don't have a choice. Boom, we have a choice. The choice now is to it's all grassroots. It's all grassroots now. You have to basically get involved, do this in your town. And I saw a story about some guy in Midland, Texas, getting arrested for bringing a point of order. These were infected now by people who don't want disagreement. When you are in a parliamentary session, you should be able to ask questions and do things, and they're not doing it anymore. So then the government is completely broken. It is crony capitalism, these NGOs doing all these things, these lobbyists doing all these things, because again, they don't want the money to dry up, and that's all they're doing. They don't want the money to dry up, and it's punch in Judy, 100%. Sorry,
that's all right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I agree. It's two sides of the same coin, basically, and all they're doing is vying for more of our coins. That's it. So we either have to pick the worst or the best of the worst, basically, or pick someone totally outside of the realm. And I'm seeing every so often we'll see a brand new person that just runs because they're fed up or whatever, and they get the right people, and enough people found out about it to be able to vote for them. And I think that helps in the long run, because having people that are still used to being around people like us are still going to fight for us. And that's the whole thing. When you have a person that leaves your state and goes to Washington, D.C., and they never come back, they end up becoming Washington, D.C. They're not.
Yeah, but the thing is that unfortunately, I'm speaking logic here. We all think about it, because again, I think Joe, yourself, and I are in the same boat. We all agree on this, and Joe is right about one thing. Joe, that highlight the thing where he says most Western comics.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone can see it. Highlight that one.
Right here, this one.
Yeah. No. Most Western comics. Suck down.
Yeah, just a minute. Let me go up a little bit. Right. Yeah, right here. Sorry.
Okay. So going back to what he said, this is the market. This is people. Okay. When think about it, when we were 10 years old, anybody 10 years old, when you were 10 out there, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Who was your hero? Who did you like? Who was your favorite who's comic book hero? You had one.
Yeah.
You had one. You had somebody that you could look up to. Now you don't have anybody, because that's by design.
Yeah, they
That's
don't. They don't want you to. They just want you
They
to.
don't want you to. They don't want your kids now to have a hero.
Yeah, they want you to want people like Taylor Swift or a football
Not
player.
even that. Not even that. Not even that. They want this tranny crap. Bullshit. Lesbian crap. All that shit go thrown out, shoved down your throat. But that's the thing. And this is why when the Western comics suck, is because it's being subverted. They're trying to destroy that. It's a foundation. Because again, get them when they're young. That's what they want. And when you have the manga in Japan, because it's an ethno state and they basically don't put up with that bullshit, it's better quality and it sells out much more. And then we've talked with people. Darius talked about it. Joe, you probably talked about it too. And I've seen where you walk into a bookstore now, and it's all manga because again, that's what people want. You're not going to stock it with Ironheart. Are you crazy? Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, I think it's sad, but that's why I try to have some good things every so often on here, because I don't want people to give up hope. And each week, that I do the show, and I've been doing it for over a year, things have gotten a little better. You know what I mean? In certain areas, not all areas. And it has a lot to do with what state you're in. You know what I mean? My state's pretty good. I mean, because we have we have a great governor, and we have a lot of people that actually are still grassroots, and I tell people that being hands-on in your community whenever you can, even if it's through your church or some bowling league you're on, or a fishing group that you're in, whatever it is, and you're hands-on doing things in your community, that's great, because that's where we're hurting. We're hurting because we don't have any people that care about the communities anymore. They think, well, I'm just one person, I'm not going to make a difference. But you can in your community. You definitely can. So I'm like that too. I'm one of those people that think that.
But what's happening now, Joe, is everyone's arguing about the glass. That's all they're doing. They're just arguing about a glass.
Yeah, who's got the best glass?
No, but literally, like it's literally you could put a picture of a glass on Twitter and say it's half full, and you'll have entire people arguing. It's empty. No, it's this. It's not even a glass. They're arguing over a glass.
That's not AI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll say it's AI. It's this and that. It's not real. But they're arguing over a glass. But that's on purpose. Again, you're arguing over the wrong thing while they're laughing. And the thing is that it hit me too. Everyone thinks that Disney is doing the wrong thing. Why are they doing this? Why is Lucasfilm doing this? Why are they're going to lose the Mandalorian Grogu? Complete failure. But you want to know the truth? Somebody's been shorting the stock for the last 10 years. It is the plot of Trading Places, literally. I bet you $1 I can tank Disney. It really is that simple. And someone says $1, and then they bet like $1 million on it, so that it's going to short and lose.
Yeah,
that's how it works. And the thing is that they convince people that it's good. Like what's the one thing? Like some moron convinced the Bud Light thing. And there was a reason for that too. Some
woman.
But the two big. But the thing is that they decided put the woman in charge, have her do it, and it serves two purposes. It serves let's short the stock and make money because we don't care because we're gonna make money anyway.
Yeah.
Let the distributors, because again, beer is no one knows economics. The beer you get inside your store comes from a distributor who's most likely a local person in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
That person, they pick, which one they're going to do, Budweiser, this and that. They have to pick a certain aspect of it, and they have to sell it no matter what. That's what they signed up for, a contract and all that stuff. So when that happened, it put a lot of people out of business. So then what happens? They get bought out by the bigger corporations. It's the way they buy them. It's an insidious thing to do. It's all planned. No one, and I don't know why no one sees this. And the same thing, like I said, Disney and all that stuff. And then the same thing happened with Jaguar. Hey, let's make Jaguar gay, and then it happened. Now Ferrari's doing the same thing. And you want to know? Just a few years ago, you can look it back. When it comes to Jaguar, when they had that fucking gay ass commercial, which made no fucking sense. You had a girl and a guy in a dress and all that stuff. It's sick. It's disgusting. And again, yay, diversity, yay. But you're not buying the fucking car, you morons. You're not going to buy it. And then Ferraris do the same thing. But you want to know about that? Jaguar and Ferrari, manly cars. They did video commercial in like the early 2000s or whatever, 2005, 2010, around there, with all Bond villains, all the villains, all the British villains and all the Jaguars they had all out there, and it was cool and all that stuff. That was what Jaguar was. And then they put the gay shit out. And we're coming up there. We're a few days away from Gay Month.
I know, and I wonder whether or not that really hurt their sales.
But again, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, my dear. It didn't matter
to the companies because they
shorted the stock. They don't care. It's the stock. That's the thing. If the stock goes down, it's done on purpose. The person who's going to hurt is the one who has the 401k, has the mutual fund, has basically put their money into a brand because, oh, my grandfather had a Ferrari. I always wanted one. At least I'll have stock in it because it's good.
Yeah.
And then you have the fund managers and the people that say, well, let's take the stock, because again, they're going after male brands. They're going after female brands. Females too. The whole pink ribbon bullshit, Susan Coleman breast cancer crap, that's a scam too. All the stuff they put out there, pink this, pink that, pink. It's all the money doesn't go to breast research, all that stuff. And again, we're poisoning women and giving them breast cancer through all the bullshit we're doing out there too. So it's again, it goes back to your vaccine crap and all that stuff. It's all done. Everything is a poison.
Yeah, that's why it's important that each person.
That's 89. The movie, the plot there, the Joker. They put poison in different products, and if you use a combination, you get sick. That's what's happening. Bottom line, they tell you this, and no one's listening. It's insane.
Well, people are listening because there are people that are talking about it. It's just that not enough people are listening. That's the problem. And that's why it's important to do what we're doing, because we're getting a few people to listen, and hopefully they'll share it with someone else. But this right here was something that happened that I wanted.
He was right about that. Harley Davidson, also. Yeah.
This it says that the U.S. Senate unanimously bans all senators from getting a single paycheck if the federal government is shut down. And this was filed by Senator Kennedy. So and you know how much I like him from Louisiana. So here we go.
Mr. President, I know no further debate on the measure.
Without objection, the Senate will proceed to the measure.
Mr. President, I know of no further debate on the measure.
Students of fag.
If there's no further debate, the question's on the adoption of the resolution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And the resolution is adopted.
Okay, so that's one of the things that we has been done. But see, it's just one thing, and it just ticks, slowly ticking clock. And then it has to go to the next place, and then it has to get to the president, whatever, that type of thing. But the one thing that we really need before elections, again, is the SAVE Act to be passed. And that's what I don't understand, why we have so many people that are against that. And that's why, to me, if we stop talking about it, then it just gets pushed under the rug, and people say, well, we'll have to do it the next time. Everything gets kicked down the road and dragged out. And that's one thing I really can't stand. But this right here, I thought was good, because you know how I am about anything to do with saving kids. and punishing people that do anything to children at all, no matter what it is, bad stuff. So I thought this was good. And I try to do this as much as I can about Kash Patel. It says FBI and our partners arrested subject Zachary Sweeney out of Tennessee, who allegedly coerced multiple minors from 2022 to 2025 into producing child sexual abuse material, which is called CSAM. Because if you watch at the end of my show, I do some stuff I play an outro for the Tim Tebow Foundation for this type of thing right here. In some cases, selling the material, traveling to abuse and drug minors, or even live streaming sexual assaults online. One of the victims later tragically died of an overdose because, they keep them drugged up. When I first started doing live streams, I talked about a guy that was making these documentaries, and it was called The Eyes of the Devil. And it was about 4 brothels, okay? Not in the United States. These are in 4 other countries, but they were for 10 and under. Everyone in the brothel was 10 and under. They had 6-year-olds begging you to kill them when you'd go and rape them because they didn't want to live anymore. And I talk about that a lot because that's the kind of stuff that I think anyone who does those things shouldn't have the right to live. I mean, I'm one of those people. I just don't believe that these people can ever be fixed. I don't care how long you put them in prison. We're just going to be feeding them for the rest of their lives because you can't cure someone who does that kind of thing to a child. They're sick. Okay. And I'm a firm believer of that. And I've gotten in trouble many times for talking about that kind of stuff, even though it's factual. Actual doctors and police officers and other people can prove that it's true. Okay. And the documentary itself is on YouTube, but it's blurred out. Almost the whole thing is completely blurred out. And it's just really hard. But you don't need to see anything, believe me. Just by listening to it and what's going on, it turns your stomach. It's disgusting. But it's sad because it's factual, right? And they don't like it when you talk about it. And this is what's sad, is that you'll have this right here, okay, this story, which is a wonderful story, okay, another 764 subjects arrested. That's a lot of people. This administration, like Trump's first administration, they were cracking down on child trafficking, human trafficking, child sexual assault, rape. All these people were getting arrested and prosecuted. But then over the last time, since he was not in presidency anymore, we've seen more and more judges just give him slaps on the wrist, for all these horrible, nasty, disgusting things. And what's really sad is a couple times I even talked about it on here is the fact that a person can get arrested for doing that to an animal in their house, right? Videotaping it or whatever and getting caught doing that with pets in their home. And they get more time in jail than they get for doing it to a kid. That's I don't understand how any judge or court could think that how do you weigh that? How do you say this kid isn't worth this dog? You know what I mean? It's disgusting. But we've done this. We, the people of this country, have let children be put below pets. Okay?
Yeah, because
when it comes to that,
it happened at a time where you had a person who was mauled by a mountain lion. They shot it. This is in California about 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was a fund for the mountain lion, not the lady who got killed. And the whole idea of I'm sure this happened. And the whole idea of the abortion thing, it's just so weird. The abortion thing and the death penalty thing. You've got people who say, you can't. They're the same person who has a vigil for someone who brutally murdered somebody that's being executed. is the same idiot who says that it's a clump of cells.
I know it's
innocent life
mhm.
is less valuable than a murderer. That is the exact opposite. That is the reverse. There's no logic there, and that's what we have to deal with. But again, it's been justified by academia, and again, all great powers fall to this. You know, they philosophize too much and only think in their ivory towers, and it's terrible.
Yep.
They think that there is no longer discussion. Critical thinking is gone.
Because most people just walk on past or turn and look the other way and act like, you know, they didn't hear or they're not interested just because they don't want to get in the middle of anything. You know, like you'll see what's really disgusting too is it's mostly in the big cities and stuff, but you'll see a person being robbed or mugged in the street and people will pull out their phones and start videoing. They don't call 911. Right. They don't run to aid the person. They just video it, or they run the other way because they don't want to be in the middle of it.
Weird is that we used to have this problem in the late 60s, early 70s. Mm-hmm. And we had a string, Death Wish, Citizen Joe, these movies that came out about vigilantism. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to happen now. You had Bernard Goetz. It happened in the 80s, and what happened? What came of that? You had Giuliani. You had Law and Order come back to New York, and New York was a beautiful place with Giuliani. And now people were wishing he died because he supported Trump. That is a culture shift. That is an insidious culture shift. It's insane.
What's really sad about that whole thing, it isn't even the fact that he was supporting Trump. He was trying to expose cheating. That's everyone. That means any single person that went to vote, yes, whether they voted this way or that, they were ripped off.
Right.
Okay, so every person that went to vote should have been pissed off that they were crucifying Giuliani because he was trying to bring out the truth that, hey, we need to have a new election because there was cheating. Because what's really sad about it is if their guy had won, okay, or lost, then they would have said, I want a new election. You see, it shouldn't matter whether that guy won or lost. It's the fact that there was cheating that should have mattered. That's where we're messed up. That's where our society is having a really bad problem, is that as long as it's my guy that wins, I don't give a fuck. And that's fucked up.
Right.
That's the problem. I want it to be fair across the board for all people, period. That's what I want. And then whatever we get from it, whatever. Do you want me to share those links?
And well, share the second one I sent you. That's the one that Joe brought up because we need a little levity here. This is Joe. I saw this one. It's about Harley Davidson. Watch this. It's funny. It's a funny little video.
In the chat. You want me to open it?
Yes. Show
okay.
It.
I'm so sorry.
It's on X. It's on X.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, I'm pasting it right now so we can see it. Sorry.
We need a little levity here, and that's Joe's atmosphere, everybody. So subscribe to Joe's atmosphere because he's a good guy and he needs more subs.
And just give me a second. Let me close this one out real quick and share the other one. Okay. Number the very bottom one, I think. Yeah, the Harley Davidson one. There you go. Yeah. This one.
Yeah,
here we go. Make it big. Here we go.
Some motorcycles make a statement. Harley Davidson. Everybody knows you're gay. Some motorcycles.
That's terrible. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. That is funny, but I did share it in the chat already, guys. So everybody can get it and share it if you want. That is funny though. Yeah, a lot of people would, say a lot of stuff about that. There's the same thing about Bud Light. I mean, after what happened, a lot of people would think that, if you drink Bud Light, you got to be a trans or something. So
Well, I don't understand. Well,
I don't drink beer.
Bud Light is,
so-
it's well, shit. I have beer downstairs. I need a beer. Need a beer, but a real one anyway. But not a fake one. Jesus.
Yeah, this whole thing I wanted to share, I didn't even know about this. I had to read about it, and I was like, holy crap, this is great. I think it's a great idea. And when I saw it on my timeline, I was like, I hope they do this. This was posted. It says that DHS just published the exact list of airports they will shut down if sanctuary cities refuse to cooperate. Not vague threats. Okay. It says they'll look into it. It says names their facilities, specific airports, city by city. Okay. It says the JFK, New York's primary international gateway. If these cities keep blocking ICE and stuff from getting these people and getting them out, they're going to start doing other things, defunding them. So that means they're not going to help them with their airports or any of the stuff, which is great. But you know what? When I was reading this, what popped out in my head? The fact that if people can't fly to New York, what airport are they going to use? So they're going to go to another state that has no problems with the airport and use them. So it's going to push people from using these airports to airports that are in states next to these states that aren't closed down. So if it lasts for a certain amount of time, these people are going to lose money and the other ones are going to make money, which means people will leave these jobs, right? So I can't wait to find out about how this is going to overall affect the country by how long they drag their feet. How long do you think these states are going to stay sanctuary states when they start having no money coming in from the federal government? That's what I think.
But the thing is that you're already having these rogue judges going after what Trump's doing. You got Congress doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you got then Trump does something, and then there's some court that goes out there and blocks what he can't do.
But look, I know, but the thing is, what's happening? That's why it's taking so long. People don't understand that is what's taking forever, because by the time they have to take it all the way to the Supreme Court and they rule in Trump's favor, even though not all of them on the Supreme Court vote for him. I mean, we have one woman on there right now that can't even tell you what a woman is. So she never votes in the same realm as Trump would want you to vote, whatever type thing, because she can't think that way. But this is going to be great. I think this is a start, because once they realize the people in these states that their airports are going to shut down pretty much because they're not going to have the government funded employees being paid there anymore, that they're not going to come to work. And when they're not at work, they can't run the airport the way that they're used to. So they're going to have to minimize flights, and it's going to be crowded, and it's going to be really bad. And how many of these companies like Delta, American Airlines, all of them are going to keep flying in or making these a priority when they're going to be easily run out of things that they need for the planes because they don't have the workers to supply everything they need. I mean, I just think it's going to be a huge monkey wrench. So I think this is a good idea. But here we go. I'm going to play the news video from Fox News that goes with this. So hold on, let me play it for you.
Today, Sean. And I said, if they're going to not allow us to go out and arrest the worst of the worst, and then when we call for assistance at the facilities, that the street, it belongs to the city, If it belonged to us, we would take care of it, but it belongs to the city and they're barricading our employees from coming in and out of the facility. Then why are we processing international flights into the airport there? And we are currently, which we're not initiating yet, but we're currently drawing up plans to say, listen, in these sanctuary cities where the local radical left Democrats aren't allowing us to do our job and enforce federal laws, then we shouldn't be processing international flights into their cities either, because they don't want us to enforce immigration, but they want us to process immigration at their facilities. Nothing about that makes sense to me.
100%. I think it's a great idea. I haven't, in my lifetime, I don't think there's not been a single administration that's ever done anything like this that I remember. Do you remember anything like that?
No.
Ever happening? So it might make a difference, because he's right. See what I just heard from him is common sense. And that's one thing we're seriously lacking in the United States of America. And that's one of the reasons why I think we're in a big fucking mess in our country right now with all this shit. I mean, with so much shit. And the reason it's so much shit is because you and I are paying for it. You take our money out of it, they're not going to want to do it. You see what I mean? If we're not paying them to fuck us over, basically, they'll stop, because we're the ones paying for it. We stop the money, it will stop. I 100% agree. I think that it will work. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see. Well, hello, Woke Breaker. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Well, yeah, and I've used the dirty word quite a few times this evening, but I think this is a great idea. And I'm proud that we have an administration that's thinking about that way, because it's about time somebody does something. And that's, at least that's something. See, that's the thing. They can't say that Trump administration hasn't tried anything, okay? Because they are trying. They're doing tons of things that I haven't seen any other administration even, try to do. So let me see what this next one is right here. Okay, yeah, this one's a good one. I thought it was good. I watched it a couple times. I think it's this one. It always turns blue and I can't see it on my screen, the little screen before I bring it up. It turns blue. Okay, let me push pause on this. Okay, I thought this was pretty interesting, this whole thing. Oh, goodness, it says it may not be.
Hello, everybody. It's by myself now. What happened? She lost. Anyway, I was kidding. So, everybody, how you all doing? This is a shit show, and I'm here. Anyway, so what's been going on? I don't know. We're just waiting for Janet. Anybody have a question at all? I can answer any questions now. Better than ChatGPT. I'll answer any question right now. Just say it.
Wow, I kicked myself out again. I did it. Remember, I did it last time. Remember last week? Wasn't it last week or the week before?
Oh, the week before.
I closed the link, and that was the link I'm in. So
but it was last week because I went by myself for 1 second.
Yeah, that was me. Remember,
at the very end, you did it.
Yeah, it was at the very end, but this time I did it in the middle. Okay, so let me get back to it again and open it and bring it up, because I just thought I had just opened it, and I was like, "That's it, that's the one," and then I kicked myself out. But yeah, this is one of the ones that I think is really good. This is slowly starting to come out, but it's the Democrats and the corrupt judges dragging us for years and years since 2020. Finally, we're doing it. One thing I'm really shocked about is that the fact that we have any evidence at all that they haven't worked diligently day and night, like they did, redoing ballots over and over again to destroy all this, so that there's no evidence of it. But thank God we had a few people that had a conscience and decided that, well, I'm going to need a get out of jail free card or something. So I'm going to keep this evidence. But I want to play this for you because this is very, very interesting, this whole video. And I will share this in the chat because this is very, very important, I think, that we see this. This is from Tucker Carlson. So here we go. I'm going to start it. Make sure it's turned up. Yes. Okay, here we go.
2 ballots side by side. One of them is marked for Jason Shaw, and it's got a little squiggle mark next to it. You can see it's got the identical mark on the second one. And the ballot image is stored up here on the top left. So this one over here is scanner 5162, that's scanner number 3. Fax number 235, image number 19. And that matches 234, image 59. So you have the same ballot counted twice in the images and counted in the audit. How that's possible, I don't know. Here's one of the next ones. All right, so same fax number 234, image number 2, and 235, image number 61. Republican, 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 all the way down to the point where this little spot up in Fannie Willis matches this one over here. There's no question that that ballot was counted twice.
Footage obtained by Voter GA appears to show large numbers of ballots being scanned multiple times. Pay attention in the tape we're showing you to the woman wearing yellow at the desk. According to Voter GA, she slides ballots into a scanning machine, removes the ballots, and then reinserts the same ballots. This happens multiple times.
What occurred at the State Farm Arena that night, and I watched that video, every minute of it, should shock the conscience of every red-blooded Georgian, no matter your political persuasion. I've asked Bob, if you're posting, Bob Poston here at the video, I want to pull it up and I want to show you, for those that may not have taken the time to watch this video, I want to show you what occurred there that night that should shock the conscience of every Georgian. Bob, if you would. All right, so this, in the upper left-hand corner, you can see the time. That's 11:05 p.m. This is after everyone was told to go home because there was a major water main break. That was false. There was no water main break at all. There was a toilet leak about 16 or 18 hours earlier in the day, leaking from the ceiling from a suite above. It was cleaned up. It had no impact on this election. The water main break pronouncement was obviously made to clear the room of all poll watchers and the media. So they were told that night that the vote count would be suspended because the water main break, and that they would resume the vote count the next morning. The next morning, everybody was stunned to learn that the people at State Farm Arena, there were 5 women that worked for about 2.5 hours from just before 11 p.m. until just before 1 a.m. Scanning ballots. And the disturbing thing about it is that there were 5 of these desks with women at each of the 5 desks. And we've labeled the first one here, kind of focused on her. She's wearing a purple top, desk 1. This is at 4x speed, so we don't have to sit there and watch, it in a slower speed. But you can see that this lady is taking the same stack of ballots, and once she runs them through the scanner, there she goes. She sticks them back in and runs them a second time and a third time. And then the lady to her right, wearing the yellow top, we've got a second video that shows that she did the same thing with a stack of ballots on her desk. And so there's ballot scan number 3 from desk number 1. One man, one vote just went out the window at State Farm Arena on the night of November the 3rd, 2020. And it's here for all us to see. This is much like going to trial with a who ran the red light case. And instead of having people coming in and testifying about who ran the red light, you got a video showing who ran the red light. Now, it doesn't take experts, and I'm glad we had an expert here today on on the ballots in the person of Jovan Pulitzer, who is probably one of the most qualified experts I've ever had in the kind of cases that I've ever presented. I'm blown away with his credentials and his ability to, if he was given access to these.
I'm going to pause it for a second. Look at all the people that are in this room, going in and out, running around, knowing what's happening. Okay? Because any person, like I've always told, and people get sick of hearing me say, sign up and work the polls, right? I say that a lot. And the reason I said it, at least do it one time. Because if you do it one time and you watch a video like this, you can see that they're cheating. It's easy to see it. You don't have to hear it. You just have to see it, because no one is supposed to touch anyone's ballot but the person who votes. And when it's being run through a machine like that, okay, it's tallying it. And that's what the person who wrote on the ballot is supposed to do. Okay. And at the end of the night, they're supposed to have the people all sitting there counting the ballots that were put through the machines to make sure the numbers that went through the machines is the same as the number of ballots that they have. So when you have two different numbers, then you know somebody did something they weren't supposed to be doing. The same thing, if I'm at a table and I have 4 people at the table with me and I'm passing out 1 ballot per person after they signed, showed their driver's license or whatever, we hand them a ballot, they take it to the little booth and they fill it out, they come back and they put it in the little box that they have a pertinent person at the very end, which is called a judge, and they have a box and you put your ballot in that. Okay. One person touches it. Once you hand it to them, no one else touches it until the polls are closed. And then we only count the ballots at the table that we passed out. So if we passed out 100 ballots, we should have 100 votes. That's it. So it was interesting that they had 300 or 400 more votes counted than they even passed out. That's another thing that should say anyone that's ever worked the polls would know somebody cheated, because how can you have more votes than were passed out? Even at my table, when I did it, we had 2 people that had a mail-in ballot. And guess what? They were already in the box. They're in the box at the end of the table because they're going to be counted at the end of the night, but they're already in there because they've already been mailed in. And guess what? We open an envelope and we take the ballot out, which means it's folded. Okay. It's been folded and put in a ballot into the envelope to be brought to us so we could count it, because that's in our district. And that's why we're counting it. And then those people at that table will count who's in their district, like that. It's supposed to be broken down, not 5 people doing all of it. But all these people, every single person that's in this video that you see should be brought in and fingerprinted or whatever, ask them what happened, and then they all should be, charges should be pressed against them because they are blatantly cheating. So I'm going to finish playing the video now. So just give me a second. Sorry, I just wanted to add that because it's plain as the nose on your face.
Ballots. He could tell us with 100% certainty how many of those ballots are real. I mean, how many of them are fake? And that's, at the end of the day, that's what all Georgians want to know is, were these ballots, that were being scanned here after everybody was told to clear the room, were these real ballots or were they counterfeit ballots? But they were included in the vote total. Now, I served an open records request upon Fulton County. There you can see desk number 2. She's on scan number 2 of the same ballots. We need to know who these women are, for example. They need to come before this panel or somebody under oath, under penalty of perjury, and testify about those ballots after Jovan Pulitzer has had a chance to inspect the ballots. Because I think that these people would be pleading the 5th Amendment if asked questions about what they knew about these ballots. So I've served an open records request upon Fulton County. I wanted to get those ballots and make them available to Javon Pulitzer so that he could determine, are these legitimate ballots or not? And I also wanted access to those computers that you see there and those scanners so that they could image what's on those computers and scanners to tell the people of Georgia, and particularly the people of Fulton County like me who pay taxes, whether or not our votes are being diluted or stolen. So what do I get? I get no response from Fulton County Board of Electors. I called yesterday. We had this thing set up for this morning. We had a truck loaded with 4 of these commercial high-speed scanners specified by Javon show up at Fulton County Board of Electors warehouse, which is where they told me yesterday I should go with the scanners. I had lawyers from my law firm show up there ready to scan these things according to his instructions, Javon's instructions. We were then told, oh, we're not doing it here. Those ballots are down at State Farm. They're not at State Farm Arena. They're down at World Congress Center. So the trucks load up, drive down to World Congress Center, get down to World Congress Center. People at World Congress Center say, we don't know what you're talking about. We haven't been told to expect you. So then I'm hearing this, this hearing today, getting all these text messages from my lawyers in my firm saying, what do we do now? I said, well, call Ralph Jones. He's the head registrar for Fulton County. Call his office. Find out where the ballots are, when they're going to make them available. Because we've got a right to see those ballots under Georgia law and under federal law. Well, the last word I got a little while ago is they're not going to make them available unless we have a court order. So here we go again, kicking the can down the road, obfuscation, delay, trying to run out the clock. If I had an hourglass here with sand in it, that's the whole goal here is to run out the sand, run out of time so that the Georgia legislature and the people of Georgia won't have access to these ballots to see if they're true or not. And, it's time for the Georgia legislature, the House, led by a great man, Speaker Ralston, and it's time for the Senate, led by a man that I've known since we were both little boys growing up in Beaufort, Georgia, Senator Butch Miller. It's time for these 2 gentlemen to do their job, call in the House and the Senate to look at this video. Look at the State Farm video. We all can see it. We know who ran the red light. It didn't take an expert to tell us who ran that red light. We can see what happened. How many times the same ballots get voted over and over again. So it's time to call a session and let the people, one by one, every legislator who's been elected needs to raise their hand and say, I'm for one man, one vote. And if I'm seeing one man, one vote violated there, then every person in the legislature needs to say all of those votes under what is called the adverse inference law of Georgia, all of those need to be tossed. You can't rely on them. So that's the summary of my testimony. And thank you for your time.
When Voter GA finally forced Fulton County to turn over the tally sheets, the conclusion was stunning. Here's what the audit found. Quote, 7 falsified audit tally sheets containing fabricated vote totals. For example, a batch containing 59 actual ballot images for Joe Biden and 42 for Donald Trump was reported as 100 for Biden and 0 for Trump. The 7 batches of ballot images with 554 votes for Joe Biden, 140 votes for Donald Trump, and 11 votes for Joe Jorgensen had tally sheets in the audit falsified to show 850 votes for Biden, 0 votes for Trump, and 0 votes for Jorgensen. Wait, did you just follow that? How is that not flat-out criminal fraud? We'd love to know, because it certainly sounds like flat-out criminal fraud. We've obtained photographs showing what went on during the recount process for mail-in ballots in Fulton County. These pictures were taken by a whistleblower who participated in the recount. She said she noticed something odd as she did. None of the ballots that she saw had any creases on them. You can see the stacks of unfolded ballots on your screen now. That's strange because, of course, mail-in ballots need to be bent in order to be mailed in. These ballots clearly had never been inside an envelope. And then the whistleblower noticed something else. All of the ballots, the whistleblower tells us, have been filled out by a printer, not by hand. And many of them supported the exact same candidates, Democrats, including Joe Biden. Voter GA detected a series of other apparent irregularities in the recount. The group's audit found, for example, that, quote, over 200 Fulton County mail-in ballot images contained votes that were not included in the hand count audit results for the November election. Now, why is that? We don't know. Keep in mind, once again, the results in the state of Georgia were decided by fewer than 13,000 votes. It was a close race.
Yeah, close race, because we will never know if it was close. Honestly, I think it was a blowout for Trump. And that's why it took him so long to cheat. They had to cheat and cheat and cheat and cheat and cheat to get enough votes to beat him, because nobody was voting for him. Nobody was voting for him. They had to cheat more and more and more in many, many states, not just this one, to outvote the people. And every person who went to vote, that got off their couch, got in their vehicles and went to vote, they should have been able to get their vote counted. Every single person who got up to vote, whether they really voted for Biden or Trump or anyone else that was on the ballot in Georgia, should be pissed off about this. Because since 2020, they've all been lying to you. So even if your guy won and you're happy with it, that's fine. But they still cheated you out of a fair election. You should be upset about that. Because if they'll do it for that person, next time they're going to do it for someone you hate, that you don't want. Okay? Cheating never helps anyone. It only helps the cheaters. That's it. So whoever was in on it, they wanted more money for Ukraine. They wanted more money for that NGO, more money for USAID. Those are the people that stole your votes from you. From all of us in all the different states where they had massive cheating. Okay. And you should be pissed off.
But again, yeah, but okay, well, this is a video from 21. Okay, that's the first thing. But it's happened today. It's happening now. They're stealing your vote now. They're not voting for the same America. They're not voting on anything. They're not doing anything. Again,
the reason this is important is because when are these people that did all of this massive fraud gonna go to jail?
Nothing's going to happen until there's a cleaning up of the Republican Party.
I know what I'm talking about is, why aren't these people being arrested? Why aren't all these people? Why aren't we seeing all these trials of all these people? All this fraud.
It's not going to happen because it's part of the cover-up.
Okay, well, the thing is, if it doesn't happen, how can anyone go and vote and feel like their vote's going to matter?
But that's, oh my God. So then, like I said, you have to change. This election is very important. The 2026 election is very important. You have to stop it now. It has to be Here's the truth. I never vote in non-presidential elections. There's no point.
Yeah. Well, I vote in every election.
I don't. I did one time, but it was just ridiculous. It was just basically the way that it worked. I think it was 2000 or whatever. But the point was, literally, I signed up to be a judge, and I registered as a Republican. There were no Republicans. Every single person, because you have to have half Republican, half whatever. They had to convince half of the people to be Republican judges, even though I was the only one. They just switched over for that. So I'm watching everybody do that, and I went through the whole process. You do the count, you do this, you do that, you mention. Yeah, you count. Did you know? You do all that stuff, and then what they did, what you saw the video, is not legal. You have to have a poll watcher there watching everything until you close it off and you send it off.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Right. It's just crazy. But again, right now, the machine is attacking Trump at many fronts. You've got the global problems going on right now. You've got the domestic ones. You got all Antifa. You've got the NGOs doing that, and they're trying to attack every day. You pull up everything. Everyone's complaining about two things right now that Trump's doing: the UFC fight and the fact that people are bailing out of this celebration, the 250 celebration. Well, then screw them. You don't need the playbook. The playbook of the Democrats is, Karen Bass is being, Samuel L. Jackson is supporting Karen Bass. Jane Fonda, it's again, their mentality is, somebody that you care about, somebody you're listening to will do it. No, it's not about the adult pretender or the paid shill coming on there and saying, vote for this person, blah, blah, blah. He cares. This guy's a grifter. It's projection. It's crazy. But again, everything here, it's insane, So.
Well, you're right, though. It is. And it's really sad that it's such a mess, all because a few at the top, wherever they're at, in what state, whatever, want something. And to me, they had to win because they wanted to send billions and billions and billions of dollars that we sweated our asses for to get our paychecks that was taken as taxes. And they just took the taxes that they wanted and went to Ukraine and gave it to them, and went to the other NGO and went to that and went to this. And they didn't care about paying the money to the taxpayers that we paid to have our streets fixed or our schools worked on or different things that we each voted for in our state to have things done. And that's what the taxes were for, because so much went for the state, so much went for the federal government, right? But then you have these crooked people in office stealing from us. And if we stop giving them money, then they'll stop spending it. Because I can tell you right now, they're not going to take money out of their own wallets and purses and spend it on anything besides themselves. But we're forced to pay it because we're forced to pay taxes, or we go to jail for it if we don't pay our taxes. So, and they know it. They know that. And they've gotten so good at stealing and making it, look like they're doing good with it when we're finding out they're not, because JD Vance is one in charge of this. And that's one of the things that I want to bring up. After this, I want to share this real quick. This is one of the reasons, like I constantly complain about why nothing's happening in our Congress and stuff, because when they're not in session, they send someone in to hit the gavel. And as long as they do that every day, Trump can't bring in his recess appointments, things like that. So
they're following the process, and Thune has to go. It's insane.
Yeah, I know. But I want to show you something, because this is why it's important to know who's doing what up there, and to understand that all these things have a consequences. But as you can see, Senator Rick Scott stepped aside and did not take the gavel today. He was the one that was told he had to go and hit the gavel. And he said no. He stepped aside. He said he wasn't going to take it. So here we go. We have Senator Rick Scott. It's one of the good guys, because he wasn't going to hit it, because he thinks that them dragging their feet so that Trump can't get his judges in is bad. It's hurting us. It's hurting our country, and it is. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that, and because I'm going to share this in there. So that's one person you can put on the list that's actually trying to do the right thing, which is let Trump have his recess appointments. It's sad, but that's where we are, and how this is how desperate these people are to stay in office, as they don't give a shit what it's doing to us or our country by dragging their feet, because they might as well next time run with as a Democrat. Why run as a Republican if you're going to do nothing but stop the Republicans from doing their jobs? What good is that? Well, it's not helping anyone. It's helping them. Apparently, that's what they're doing it. So, yeah, it's terrible. But I want to find this one to share with you of the vice president doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is to find the fraud. So hold on, I'm gonna find out which one that is real quick. I think it's number 9, and 2 number 9s. I gotta go get the number 9s. Hold on. Okay, here's one of them. All right, these are the 2 I wanted to bring up. All right, and it's him speaking, but I'm gonna pause it because I don't want it to. I gotta go down there. All right, first I want to tell you what this says. It says that J.D. Vance just went off on after an elderly man died as a part of a fraud scheme busted up by the Trump administration. Okay, he's really upset about it. I want to play this for you. There's 2 different ones I want to play. Here we go.
Nothing, no services, no help, no check-ins. And the very man, the vulnerable elderly man that he was supposed to be protecting and looking after, was reimbursed by the taxpayer in order to do exactly that. That man died. And one day before he died, after months of being neglected by the caretaker who was getting reimbursed by the American people, one day before he died, he submitted his final reimbursement for services he never provided for a man he never cared for. And that man lived his final moments on this earth neglected, while a fraudster got rich by providing services that he never actually provided. That's what we're trying to stop, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we have to fight back against. It's a shame that anything like that happens. But if it does happen, the only way to protect those people and the only way to protect the American taxpayer is to ensure that the fraudsters go to prison and that they stop this ridiculous scam on the American people. So nothing.
So that's one of the things that he's trying to explain, that when a person is supposed to be running hospice, right? Like what they were talking about in California. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we talked about it, that billions with a B were wasted in one area, one small area, county, I think, in outside of LA for hospice. It was like $48 billion. And these people were getting paid every time that they submitted their paperwork. They were making money, but they weren't helping anyone. They weren't spending any time going and doing the job that they were getting paid to do, because the people above them weren't making sure anyone was doing their jobs, because they were also getting checks. So it's like a tier, it's like a pyramid scam, basically. But you and I, the taxpayer, were the ones paying for them to scam and people to die because of it, because they weren't being cared for. And we should all be pissed off, because that could be you. You could have been the guy laying in the bed waiting to be taken care of, and no one took care of you. So that's how you should look at it. Instead of saying, well, it wasn't my grandpa, it wasn't my uncle, it wasn't me. Why should I care? Well, because it could be you next time. Could be your mother, could be your dad, could be your uncle or your brother or your child. Okay. So we have got to listen and see that these people are trying to do a job, but it's so massive. Can you even fathom that one county in your state, just go to your state map tomorrow and look at it, for one county, that one county would waste $48 billion? on fraud. Just one county. So how many counties does the state of California have? I mean, it's unfathomable that this is how bad it is. And then we wonder why it's taken so long to reel all this shit in. And we had open borders. So all those people are here too, and we're trying to get rid of them. And a bunch of them are sucking on tit, government tit that we're funding. So, I mean, why anyone thinks that Trump can just snap his fingers and have it all cleaned up in 2 days is ridiculous. Okay. He's brought good people in. JD Vance is doing his job. All of these people, I see them working. I see what they're doing, and they're trying to be as transparent as possible. Like this video I'm sharing with you. He's making it public. But if you don't go and look at anything and you only listen to this snippet or that snippet over there, and you don't watch the news, you don't go to the government websites and see all the Epstein shit and all the other fraud, all the child molesters and stuff on the FBI website and stuff like that, and see what they're actually doing, and then go back and look what happened under Clinton, what happened under Obama, what happened under Biden, and tell me that any of them 3 presidents are doing half of, even a tenth of the fraud investigation, the child and human trafficking shit, all this stuff. I don't see any of that because I have been going and looking. And that's why I tell people, send it to me. My email is at FridayNightShitShow@gmail.com. If you have evidence to show that any of those other administrations did this much work to try to stop the fraud from you and me, the taxpayers paying for all this shit. So I can't even imagine. You clean up all this fraud, how much money we're going to have for our Social Security when you and I want to retire. How much help are we going to be able to get? And it's going to be because these people work their ass off to prove and show you on a daily basis and a weekly basis. They have meetings every week and they're public. If you want to watch the news or whatever news channel you watch, because I'm telling you right now, The View isn't going to talk about any of this stuff. So if you prefer The View, then I guess you just prefer not to know anything. And you can think all you want. Oh, they don't give a fuck about me. They're not doing shit because you're not even looking. You don't want to see the truth. And that's not my problem. I can't do anything for you if you're not willing to open your eyes and at least make an effort to see what these people are trying to do for you, even though you don't care or you don't think you care because you think you're helping by helping them steal from you. I don't know. I don't see how anybody can even think that any of that's good because it isn't. It isn't good at all. But before I'm going to play this next one, because this is another one has to do with the same thing about what JD Vance has been trying to work on, because his job as vice president, one of the tasks that Trump gave him was to root out as much of this fraud as he could, to try to save our country. All the money, it's being gutted, taxpayer money. And he said yes. He said that he would try to do this, and this is what he's trying to do. But here's another one, because the one he was just talking about was about the Medicaid fraud, right? And that he was upset because this one gentleman died while this person was getting multiple checks for supposedly taking care of this man, and they did nothing, didn't spend one penny to help that man, and he died without any help. But that person got their check and did nothing. So that person should be punished, and he believes that they should be punished. And I want to see these people punished because my dad was a military man and my grandpa was a military man, and they deserve to be taken care of if they sacrifice themselves to go and protect our country, to keep us free on American soil. Every veteran deserves to be taken care of, period. I don't care if they only served 2-4 years or they were a lifer. We owe them because they stepped up to the plate where other people wouldn't. So I think they should be taken care of. But here, let me play this video for you. But it says Stephen Miller says the scale of welfare fraud is so massive that eliminating it alone would balance the entire federal budget. Can you believe that? Can you believe that that's how much fraud that he thinks he's found? It's unfathomable. And this is just in welfare, not Medicaid, not any of the other different monies that the government takes and hands out to help people. This is just for welfare. It's shocking. But here, I'm going to play this video for you. Here we go.
Not abiding by our laws. And the amount that has been fleeced from us is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. I believe, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, is that we could balance the federal budget if the only dollars that went out of the Treasury went to individuals who were properly, lawfully, correctly eligible to receive them. And that ultimately is going to be what we have to do as a country. In the meantime, because of the vice president's leadership, you are seeing the most muscular, robust, aggressive, dedicated, determined, and speedy effort to shut down criminal fraud that has not only ever occurred in the history of this country, but in any developed nation. So thank you. Not abiding by our.
It's amazing. I every time I watch any of these, I'm shocked that it's gone on my whole lifetime, my whole life since I've been on this earth. They've been stealing from it. They've been stealing from my grandparents and my parents and me. And everyone I've known my whole life has been being robbed from the government, for evil people in the government. Because I can't say the government, because there are good people in the government, believe it or not. Just like there is in schools, in churches, in any business, there's good people. I'm a good person. I've never stolen from anyone. And most of the people I know are good people. Hardworking taxpayers that just want to be able to live their life, raise their kids, raise their grandchildren, go on vacation once in a while, and keep what they earned for themselves instead of having to give it all to the government to watch them do this shit with it. You know, that's all most people want. They just want it to be fair. And to see all these people fighting to help these fraudsters make billions of dollars, and they're probably getting scraps. It's just, it's heartbreaking to me. It's really, really sad because some of us are fighting for the truth. We want the truth. We want to see who's doing this. Why did they do it? Well, we know why they did it, because they wanted money that they didn't have to earn. They just took it from other people. But I want to see these people punished. I want to see every single person. I don't care how small of a little job they had. If they stole, if they were on Social Security, or they're taking their great grandfather's check and cashing it, knowing he's dead and buried and been dead and buried for 50 years, and they're still cashing his check, they need to go to prison. They knowingly cash checks from Social Security that could be going to someone who needs it for themselves because they're greedy assholes. That's who they are. And they deserve to go to jail for it, period. If they can't pay back, even if they pay back every dime that they took, which I doubt they could, because I'm sure they spent it, wasted it on whatever shit, because they didn't earn it. Because when you don't earn anything, you just take from others, you just waste it. You don't care. You don't care where the money goes or what you do with it, because you didn't earn it. When you buy something for yourself, like this shirt that I bought for myself, I wash it by hand, I hang it up, I take care of it. And I've had it for many, many years because I like this shirt. But I paid for it with my own money, and I take care of it. And most people are that way with your car, with your house, all the other things that you worked hard to earn the money to buy something for yourself or your loved one. You have pride in it because you worked your ass off for it. But these people just take from you. They just take it out of your bank account and they go do whatever the hell they want with it. And do you think they give a shit? No, they don't. And they're pissed because we're stopping that. These people are stopping them from being able to steal from you anymore. And people are still mad in the streets fighting for them to keep stealing from us. And I don't understand that. They're losing. These people that are standing out there fighting, they may be getting a small little paycheck because they're doing these protests and shit, but they're still being robbed blind. They're being robbed. And they still standing up there fighting for them to be robbed. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, I went on a rant. I can't help it. I just get so upset when I see this shit. It makes me so mad that so many people seem to be willing to think this is okay. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense at all to me that people would do this. Okay, let me see. What was the next one I had? Oh, here's one. This is totally off of the money, but more leaning toward our health. So here's the other one. One of the ones I found. That was interesting. Because we've heard a lot of stories about tick diseases and people finding boxes with ticks in them, just thrown on their property, stuff like that. So I don't know if that's true or not, because I personally haven't met anyone that had that happen to them. But I do know one person that was bit by a tick, and when they pulled it off, it had the white dot on its back. I guess it's called a deer tick or something like that. And they started getting this rash on the palms of their hands and on the soles of their feet that looked like, I can't explain it. It was some kind of rash. It was like little red blotchy spots, not bumps, just little blotchy areas on the palms of their hands and their feet. And they were told they had like starry disease or something like that. And they were allergic to red meat, which was really creepy and sad because this person loves beef and they weren't allowed to have any beef or anything. It only lasted like, so many months or whatever. And then finally they started eating meat again. They said they felt good. They felt better. I mean, they didn't feel really sick or anything from it. So this is what's interesting is this story, but this post says we've got almost 500,000 Americans living with a rare tick-borne illness that makes people allergic to meat, but not the lab-grown meat that Bill Gates has invented. Maybe this is not a coincidence after all. So I don't know about that part of it. I thought that was interesting that they added that little tidbit on their post. But here we go.
Alpha-Gal syndrome was something that was once extremely rare in this country. That is a fact, but it is becoming more and more common as more people develop an allergy to red meat after getting bitten by a Lone Star tick, which is the tick you see with the white dot on its back. And over the last several years, cases of alpha-gal syndrome have skyrocketed by almost 10,000%. And now, headline after headline, all asking the same question: how could a tick-borne illness suddenly be impacting so many people, not just people living in rural America, but in suburban America as well? And then we heard from Dr. Matthew Lau at the World Science Festival 10 years ago.
People eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then it would actually really help the planet. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
Oh, okay. And then you start to connect the dots even more, and you find out that Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation spent millions of dollars funding genetically engineered ticks, and that Bill Gates is also a major investor in lab-grown meat. And now we've got almost 500,000 Americans living with a rare tick-borne illness that makes people allergic to meat, but not the lab-grown meat that Bill Gates has invested in. You think maybe this is not a coincidence after all?
Sure sounds interesting, doesn't it? I think it's interesting. I'm going to share this link in the chat.
I actually
Have you heard this?
I actually wrote a
Alpha.
I know about it.
I pushed that. I'm sorry. Do what?
I'm writing a essay about it.
Yeah. I heard you. I remember you talking about it.
I'm still writing it right now. So it's kind of it's big, but again, the idea is but why meat? Do you know why?
I think it's because it makes you fart. And if you have a lot of cows
That's
farting,
what.
if you have a lot of cows farting, it's ruining the atmosphere.
That's the biggest. That's the lie.
No, I know
Here-
it's not real. I don't believe that
I
shit.
said,
I'm
I
just
said, it, I
saying.
said, it, I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again this week, so everyone remembers. Here again, I'm going back again to logic here. If you know human history, what did we do when we were in the cave? We went out hunter-gatherers, okay?
Yeah.
And the gathering part was the easy part. First, berries. You know, anything that was there. Not even, this is not agriculture. It's gathering, going out there and going what's out there
grasses,
right now.
mushrooms, bark.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then going out there and killing something took effort. It took strong men. Where are the strong men now? Soy boys are all over the place. So that's what you do. That's how you get rid of that. But then it goes deeper. The agricultural revolution, not the industrial, agricultural. Brain power increased because we're eating larger amounts of protein, cooking it. Cooking the food causes something to change, and it gives brain power. That's why we advanced. We got out of the cave. Now what they're saying is, oh, okay, well, shit. Let's take away their superheroes. Let's take away boys because, again, take away their superheroes of a child. Telling them, take your daughter to work day. Don't take the boys. The boys suck. Okay, you don't need a man anymore. You need a woman. Okay, and then introduce applications that keep you engaged but don't get you anything. It's loneliness. And then then they say incel, this and that, blah, 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 all that crap. So what you're doing here is they say, oh, lab grown meat, it's just as stupid as electric cars. It is.
I'm not going to eat it.
But I know. But the thing is that they're going to basically say, oh, let's make you sick. And you had, and they're pushing the grubs. You had a Vanity Fair article or video a few years ago that had Nicole Kidman eating grubs. Ooh, I like this because again, they want you to just go back to the hunting gathering, or not even that. Just we'll provide for you. We'll take care of you. Don't do anything.
15-minute cities.
Yeah.
Where they'll have, certain things prepared for you and where you work, where you're going to live, and how far you only can drive this far because we got to save money on gas, or you got to take our little transit. You see, they want to control every aspect from cradle to grave. And how many times have we tried to say that kind of stuff? And everybody said, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. So yeah, I 100% agree with that. And that's not going to happen on my end of it, at least. But I wanted to share this because I thought it was pretty interesting, this whole thing. It says CIA Director John Ratcliffe just dropped the hammer. He says former CIA Director John Brennan and former FBI Director James Comey and Hillary Clinton are likely to be indicted for their central roles in the entire Russiagate hoax. So here we go.
So what I think I hear you saying is there is still an opportunity for indictments, potential prosecutions, accountability from those people who may have lied under oath, like John Brennan, James Comey, and perhaps Hillary Clinton.
Well, that's why I've made the referrals that I have. DNI Gabbard has made referrals, and why we're going to continue to share the intelligence that would support the ability of our Department of Justice to make fair and just, bring fair and just claims against those who have perpetrated this hoax against the American people and this stain on our country.
Director, one other question on this. Tulsi, as well as President Trump, used the word. So what I think I hear you saying is there is still an opportunity for indictments, potential prosecutions, accountability from those people who may have lied under oath, like John Brennan, James Comey, and perhaps Hillary.
Sorry, I let it go again because I was doing some other stuff on there. But yeah, it's I want to see something happen. You know, I think all of us do. We're all want justice, because especially all of us that know that these people are what they're criminals, and there's so much evidence. I mean, if you and I were both accused of a crime, whatever it was, and they only had half the evidence that we've seen on some of these cases, we would probably be in prison for 20 years. You know what I mean? So the fact that we can't even get any of these people arrested, but remember what I said, when the first time when they went and picked up Comey, the first time they indicted him, what happened? They got thrown out. So that's why these people are dragging their feet about getting Trump's judges in on these states, because you can arrest these people and indict people on other crimes. Like I said, like they were just saying, get them in there for lying under oath or for whatever, some other crime to get them in. But you have to have judges that you know are going to be fair. Because if you put them under a certain judge, like some of these judges that we have right now, that they rape someone and they get this, don't do that again. And they just go out and rape someone else. The guy that stabbed the girl in the throat on the subway, he was out like 30 something times over and over. It's a revolving doors. The other person that set the person on fire in the subway, they were let in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, we have got to start prosecuting these judges. And I've seen a few people, some of the ones that I was talking about earlier, that said that they want to try to pass some laws to where they can hold these judges accountable for their actions. And you have, see, that's why the whole thing about getting people in your state to do these things, okay? Because in your state, you could have your own judges for your state. And if you have a judge in your state that over and over again keeps releasing child molesters, rapists, criminals right back on the street, and they go back and convict, even though, because, you know, like I've said, one of the things was, if a person is accused of being, let's just say a pedophile, right? Okay, so they're accused of it, and they go to jail or they go to court, and they're being accused of it again, and they bring in the evidence or whatever, but they're not allowed to bring in the fact that they've been arrested and convicted 4 other times. Okay, why can't they use it as evidence? This proves that this person has a habit of doing this 4 times before. But you're not allowed to bring it in this time because it will bias the people involved in the court. Well, they should be biased. It's our kids' lives that are at stake. It's people's lives that are at stake. If a person goes around and he pours, sprays chemicals and stuff on the salad bar every time he goes to a restaurant, you know, how many people have to be sick or die from this person before someone believes that this person's a serial salad sprayer? I mean, I'm just making this up, but you know what I mean. It's just stupid that we can't use their habit against them. I mean, if you find out you got a girlfriend and she sleeps with everybody, that she slept with your dad, your uncle, your brother, your next door neighbor, your pastor, and all these people, do you want to date her? Because you know that she's got a reputation and you know for a fact she slept with these other people. I wouldn't want that person. I wouldn't want a guy that's been sleeping with my sisters and my aunts and everyone else. Why would I want them? You know, your actions do speak louder than words. They should. So it should be held against you if you're using it over and over again and doing the same criminal acts over and over again. It should be able to be used in court against you if you do it all the time over and over again. Because a person that actually did it on accident or made a mistake, they're not going to be doing it every month or every year. It's not going to happen. It doesn't become a habit. To me, that kind of stuff is just ridiculous. We need the states to start making some changes on their laws and how they hold their judges accountable for re-releasing people over and over again that keep committing crimes. I just think it's a great idea. I really do, because it could be your kid. It could be your sister. It could be your mother or your dad. And that's how you should look at it. Just because it isn't happened to you, and it probably won't happen to me because I live out in Hillbillyville where there isn't anybody. So my life is not going to be as messed up as some of these other people that live in big cities. But they should have the right to be able to go home, turn on their TV, feed their families, and feel safe. And I don't even live there, but I care about whether or not a person that works their ass off deserves to have what they have in their home. They deserve to be able to have peace and quiet. They deserve to feel safe wherever they live. And the only way to do that is to have less crime. And that means you have to put these people behind bars that break these laws and hold people accountable. They would do if it was you. And that's what I don't understand. But, oh, well, you know, I'm just a person. It's just that I'm very opinionated, and I admit it. I have no problem with that. Okay, here's another one that I thought was pretty interesting that I brought up. Let me push pause down here. Pause. Okay. It says the IRS is now giving guidance on the Form 990, which nonprofits they have to file. We are going to demand that nonprofits know their grant recipients. So if a grant recipient is violent, if they are suppressing people's rights, then you are going to be held responsible because you're the one paying for it. I love this. I think this is awesome. God, this would be so great to actually see people get punished because they're knowingly giving money to a group that they know is going to hurt people. And or you should know who you're giving money to. You should know where it's going and what they're going to do with the money. You should know that before you give people tons of money to fund them buying a missile or guns and knives or poison or whatever else they're going to be doing with it. So I'm going to play this video real quick. Here we go.
I want to ask you about Antifa. In October, the Treasury Department started working with the FBI to investigate who's funding Antifa. Can you give us an update on that investigation? How close are you guys to finding out who's funding it?
It is ongoing. We made substantial progress, and I think in the weeks and months ahead, we're going to have a lot to report. One thing that did go the underreported that I would point out to all of you is the IRS is now giving guidance on the Form 990, which nonprofits they have to file. And we are going to encourage or demand that nonprofits know their grant recipients. So if a grant recipient is violent, if they are suppressing people's rights, then you are responsible for that. And I think that's a very good first step.
I want to ask you about
I
Antifa.
think that's awesome. Did you know about that, Ruben?
Yes, I did.
Well, see, I didn't until today when I
In October, the Treasury
sorry.
Department started.
Barely kicked on it. I was trying to turn off the button. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. I wish we had more great ideas like that getting pushed through. But when you have lame ass people that don't even want to show up and do their job, it's kind of hard to get anything good. You know what I mean? Get anything passed, whatever. I just put that link for that video I just played in the chat for anybody who's interested. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, here we go. Here's another one I think was pretty interesting because all of it, goes together. I mean, honestly, it all loops.
Fox News alert, we just carried out a new wave of strikes in Iran. The Pentagon confirming to Fox that U.S. forces struck 4 Iranian drones posing a threat to the Strait. CENTCOM also bombing an Iranian military site that was seconds away from launching a 5th drone. We're told these strikes were purely defensive and intended to maintain the ceasefire, quote unquote. This comes just after the president called a high-stakes cabinet meeting at the White House today. The main topic, Iran.
Well, I think we're doing very well. I think are starting to give us the things that they have to give us. And if they do, that's great. And if they won't, then the man on my left is going to finish them off.
The man on his left, Pistol Pete.
We're going to use maximum lethality, and we're going to bring them to their knees. And so whether it's their Navy that's at the bottom of the Persian Gulf, their Air Force, their air defenses, or their defense industrial base, they may have missiles, but they can't build more right now. And they can't build more drones right now. And they can't build more ships. And so they came and cried uncle to talk.
Administration sources believe a deal's still imminent. We're using the carrot and the stick.
I think there's been some progress and some interest, and we'll see over the next few hours and days whether progress could be made. I just want to remind everybody, Mr. President, you know this well, you have other options available to you if that doesn't work. But the bottom line is that we prefer the negotiated diplomatic route, and we're going to give it every chance to succeed.
The markets are bullish on the deal. The Dow and S&P hit record highs today, and oil fell to the low 90s. That's after we gave them another love tap earlier this week, and then just now, wiping out members of the Guard after catching them laying mines in the Strait. The regime's response? Not much. Their negotiators kind of ignored it to keep peace talks on track. And they're trying to put a leash on the Guard, telling them to quit with the Strait shenanigans if they want to live to see another day. The mullahs have no choice. The clock's working against them.
They're just going back to the internet because they're getting clobbered. Their economy is in free fall. They have 250% inflation. Their money has no value. Their whole economic system is broken down. They thought they were going to outweight me. You know, we'll outweight him. He's got the midterms. I don't care about the midterms. Look what happened last night. That was the prelude to the midterms.
The Iranians are looking for the relief valve. Big steel companies in Iran are completely shut down. Israel blew them up, and paychecks are bouncing. Meanwhile, our economy, still the largest in the world. Our GDP, bigger than China, Germany, and India combined. Plus, now we're getting fresh batches of sweet crude from our new amigo.
Over 10 million barrels of Venezuelan oil have been delivered to the United States since the 3rd of January. That industry is being professionalized for the first time ever. It's going to the benefit of the Venezuelan people. They are selling oil in the market at market rates. The money's going to an account in the United States, controlled and monitored by Treasury, audited by KPMG. And it's for the first time ever, the money's not being stolen. It's going to the benefit of the Venezuelan people.
Meanwhile, the Iranians can't get any oil out. 109 of their ships, they've been 180'd. The blockades cost them $20 billion and counting. Their ships are sanctioned and stuck. Iran needs the deal, and they're asking for a little moolah. We froze billions of their assets at the start of the war, and they want us to thaw out some of the bank accounts ASAP. But we're not giving them their allowance back if they don't follow orders.
Is the U.S. considering easing sanctions on Iran to allow Iran to sell its crude to market?
No, we're not talking about any easing of sanctions or giving money. No sanctions, no money, no nothing. We have control of money that they claim is theirs. We'll keep control of that money. When they behave properly and when they do what's right, we'll let them have their money. But right now, we're not doing that. And it's one thing is not contingent on the other.
The message from the White House is no dust, no deal. The Iranians only get their money after they open up the Strait and blow up the uranium. But these Persians are squirrely. They're trying to put in the deal that they can control the Strait with their neighbors on the other coast, Oman. Trump's like, that's a joke, right?
The Strait's going to be open to everybody.
And who would control
it? International waters. Nobody's going to control it. We're going to watch over it. We'll watch over it, but nobody's going to control it. That's part of the negotiation that we have. They would like to control it. Nobody's going to control it. It's international waters, and Oman will behave just like everybody else, so we'll have to blow them up.
Oman's an ally, but if you turn into a pirate, we'll turn you into an enemy. The Russians and Chinese also want to help with the uranium. Trump says, stay in your corner.
Would you be comfortable with Russia or China taking their stockpile of highly enriched uranium, and have they offered to do that?
No, I wouldn't be.
The president wants to personally see the uranium destroyed. And once that happens, we have a deal. But the president's throwing a curveball in the negotiations. He wants the Arab world to sign on to the deal, too. And if they don't, there may be no deal.
We'd like to have them immediately join and Steve Witkoff is working on that with Jared and some others, but would like to have them join the Abraham Accords. It'll be historic if they do it. And I think they owe that to us, to be honest. I think because that really would be a tremendous sign. And I think those countries owe it to us. I'm not sure we should make the deal if they don't sign. You want to know the truth.
I think that's great. I think that the way that they're handling it, and look at them, all three of them sitting there at a table, taking questions and explaining every single thing they're working on. Every single thing. It's wide open. This is the most transparent administration I've ever seen in my lifetime. I've never seen this type of stuff going on a weekly basis to where we know what's going on. Well, we shouldn't know every single detail, like when they're going to strike someone, or but he fills us in afterward. I just don't understand why so many people hate him. And with their piles and piles of shit.
You have to
You
remember
what?
who,
Yeah.
when they televise this, who's watching?
I'm watching.
I know, but basically, Trump's giving if you tell a liberal, Trump's talking at the cabinet meeting.
Yeah.
What's the reaction you're going to say?
They don't want to see it.
Right.
Probably.
They're not going to listen. But what happens is then the reporters report what he said, even though it's not what he said. So there's an inconsistency between what they report versus what he says. So he's playing it smart. He's out there telling everybody everything. So there has to be some honest reporter out there doing it, but it's very, very few.
Yeah.
So what happens is, a perfect example that happened just a few days ago, I saw something about the Starbucks CEO had mentioned that when people come into their to Starbucks, they can get a $9 experience, and that includes coming in, getting a drink, getting something to eat, and you can get it for like $9. So what CNN did is basically said, there's a backlash here because they're charging $9 for coffee at Starbucks, which he never said.
Yeah, I know.
Take everything out of context. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, they're good at it. They're pros. I think they go to school just to learn how to do that. Honestly.
That's the whole point.
I
Again,
know.
Going back. No. But think about it. Who is it? William R. Murrow. Walter Cronkite. All the great journalists.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to fight for truth. Now it's not. Journalists don't fight for truth. They want to push their agenda. They want to make an agenda happen. It's different.
Yeah. It's just, I just don't, it doesn't make sense to me, because to me it doesn't make any sense. And I guess that's why it's so prevalent, But I've got another video I want to share, because earlier we were talking about the lab-grown meat and about you talking about, I love meat. I wouldn't be able to, I would go out and hunt my own meat. You know what I mean? I have chickens, but I would probably also eat rabbit and squirrel, venison, stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't go out and shoot a cow to eat it, but I would trade my other stuff, eggs and chicken and other stuff, to get beef from other farmers, the ones that do have it and have the means to process it and stuff like that. I could do that, and barter if it came down to it. But it's just, it's really scary. But this is a really interesting story, because I don't hear anybody talking about it except for a few of my friends that are into cattle ranching and things like that, and doing the meat, the whole thing about selling their own beef and getting small groups of farmers, that cattle ranchers and stuff, that sell their meat together to be able to compete against some of the big corporations and the giant ships that they send over from China with beef on it. So, and we don't know what's in that. That's another thing. It's scary to not know what's injected in the meat. that they're sending over here. You know what I mean? I have no idea. And it's kind of scary. So, we got to really start paying attention to what we're eating and what we're feeding our families. But this is a man who wants to share information about his state, upstate New York. So I'm going to play this for you. Here we go.
Hello, my fellow patriots. It's your friend John Rich here, and we have ourselves a 911 in upstate New York. You're not going to believe this. So recently I started to learn about Governor Kathy Hochul, the state of New York, and a committee they put together back in the Biden era called ORES, O-R-E-S, and how they are treating the American farmer in upstate New York. There's a thing called prime farmland. The USDA has its science-backed mathematical equation as to what is prime farmland, meaning what's the farmland that has to be protected? It's the premium soil. It's the soil that produces the most, the soil that we protect. And Kathy Hochul decided, yeah, I don't like USDA's numbers. You know why? Because upstate New York has a lot of prime farmland per the USDA's numbers. So we need our own numbers to allow these solar farms and wind farms to come in. So they went to Cornell University and got a bunch of smart guys to reimagine what is prime farmland. They turned in that report, and that is the report that ORES and the state of New York is using to run these people off their farms. I'm talking destruction like you can't believe, not just to the farmland, but the ecosystem in upstate New York. If you've never been there, it is one of the most beautiful places in the world. There are more bald eagles per square foot than I've ever seen in my life. I've toured all over it. So here's how big these solar farms are. Are you ready? Currently on the books to be built, 40 to 50 square miles of solar farms, 40 to 50 square miles of solar farms. Where does it go? It goes on the Amish farms, the Mennonite farms. It goes on your mom and pop farms. It goes on everybody's farm. And it doesn't matter what the county has to say. It doesn't matter how the elected leaders vote. And it damn sure doesn't matter what the citizens think. Kathy Hochul is going to run right over the top of you. She's going to let foreign companies come build 40 to 50 square miles of solar farms in a part of the United States that is cloudy 2/3 of the year. Brilliant, right? What else is going on? Why are they really doing that? I think we need to get to the bottom of that. Guess what? Governor Hochul lives in Erie County. I'm told there are no solar farms in her county. Well, of course not. She doesn't want to look at them. She didn't want to deal with them. She just wants the peasants to have to deal with them while she cuts her deals with foreign countries on American farmland. So I've filled out a report on this, and it is this thick. I'm going to be sending it up to Secretary Rollins at USDA to have her learn about it. I'm going to send it to Lee Zeldin and have him learn about it. I'm going to send it to the Forestry Service, and everybody else is going to learn the inside out what's going on in upstate New York, because I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of federal statutes are being broken, that a lot of regulations are being ignored, and that in that fray, American citizens and American landowners are being absolutely steamrolled by these communistic tactics. We're not going to put up with it. We're not going to let it go down without a fight. So stay tuned. More to come. Just wanted to get you up to speed. To all my friends in upstate New York, you guys stay tough. The cavalry's coming. We're just now getting started. God bless you. God bless America.
Awesome. Yeah, it's I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this, but I'm going to share this link in the chat so that you can please share it with anyone you know that you think might benefit from hearing about it, because we have got to protect our farms. I mean, because we've got to feed our families, and we got to feed our families in the future, right? And I don't want to eat lab-grown meat. I don't want to eat any lab-grown anything. You know, I want to eat real food, actual stuff that had dirt around it when it first started its life. Plants, I want meat, and I also want eggs, and I want my fresh chicken, and I like fish. I like all this stuff, and we should have access to all of these things. We're surrounded, our country is surrounded by oceans. And we have lakes and rivers with fresh fish. And we should have the right to eat it. And shrimp, crawfish. I mean, we have gator. I mean, there's tons of things that we can eat. And people have eaten for many generations. And we should have access to it. For someone to be able to do anything like this is sad. And on my channel, under my posts, I posted, I've been trying to post different things from different people on X, like pushing X pictures and stories. And I've been making sure their names on it because I want these people, whoever sees it and thinks it's important, to go to these people's channels or wherever they have this information posted. And one of them was a great idea, and it was by David Harris of Instagram. And it was a post showing like you've got in Arizona and in Nevada for sure, because I have relatives in both states. They have lots of parking areas with roofs on them, tons of them. They're everywhere, every mall, all these different places. There's places like that. And you can put solar panels on them, on top of them. You can do it in every state where there's these type of roofs. There is plenty of other places to put solar panels and not take up the farmland. So, I mean, there is always something better. The only thing is that they don't want to listen to us, okay? Because they already think they know better than we do what's best for us, because they don't want you to have choices, just like we were talking about earlier. So when you have a choice, you have a voice, right? Well, if you have a voice, you should have a choice, but it's not always that. It doesn't always work that way. But yeah, I thought that I just wanted to add that because I think it's important. Now I have a few more little videos that I want to share before we're done for this evening. This one I thought was interesting too. It's Dan Bongino. I haven't played anything from him for a while because you remember he left and went to work for the government for a little while. And he really wasn't talking about a lot of things that we hadn't already brought up from someone else. So this one I liked because I like Judge Jeanine, and what she's talking about on this one tonight I thought was pretty good, and I hadn't heard her say it on anyone else's channel. And she says, there's one thing that I'm going to share with you that I haven't really told anyone. So I wanted to open this up and share it with you guys. Make sure it's turned up. There we go.
You know, there's one thing, Dan, that I'm going to share with you that I really haven't told anyone. And I don't know if you recall, but in 2012, we were all talking about Benghazi, and unfortunately, you know, the death of Ambassador Chris Stevens and the other three operatives who were there, the CIA, at the compound there.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is that we fought talking about whether or not it was a peaceful protest that went awry, or whether it was, you know, people just went there to burn down the embassy. And when I got into the office, I said, pull the Benghazi file. And so we pulled it, and we had drones, Dan. We knew what was going on. And I looked at these drones, and it was clear to me, Dan, that there was no peaceful protest. There was no one who got there and said, you know, we object to the United States being here. These MOs, they're MFers, they came in with rocket-propelled grenades because they knew what they were going to do. And when they couldn't break into the ambassador's residence, they went out and they got fuel to burn him out. And I remember saying to the prosecutors in the room, Dan, well, the nation and Hillary Clinton, you know, we were all fighting. It was a peaceful protest. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. We know for a fact that it was not a peaceful protest. The drones made it clear. They came there to tear the place down. And I remember saying to the prosecutors, did you know the whole country was going crazy about whether or not this was a peaceful protest or it was just a brigade that came in to tear us down? And they said, well, yeah. I said, well, why didn't you guys say something? And they said, it's not our job. And I said, you know what? You're right. It wasn't your job. But now that I'm here, I'm going to make it clear what it was. The truth is they came there to kill people. There was no question about it. And so at that point, I got an indictment for the ringleader, Bakush, and with you guys, with you and Cash, we were going to get over there, and I can't say where, to bring him back. And I was at the FTOC at the transfer of control, and Cash and I were the first ones on the plane. I wanted to look at this guy. But yeah, it's incredible. Unless you go in there and say, I want this done, inertia rules. And I couldn't allow that. And the other thing is, DC, street crime, you know it as well as I do, Dan. And it's all about, as you know, broken windows. I'm taking the lowest crimes and we're going for it. But here's the problem in DC. The problem in DC is that we can't charge you with a crime if you're under 18. And that means if you're 16 and 17 and you just burglarize, or you assault someone, or you assault someone with a deadly weapon, I can't prosecute you. I can only prosecute you under what we call Title 16 in DC if you commit murder, rob one, burglary one, or sexual assault one. Those are the worst crimes, and only if you're 16 and 17. Then I can come in. So all of these juveniles who eventually reach the age of 18, and I get my hands on them, they've got a record a mile long because they've been taken to the family court. There's no real consequence. The purpose is rehabilitation. It is not retribution. It is not punishment. It is not deterrence. It is simply to make sure that these kids get help, and they don't. They go to an ice cream social, they go to yoga, and they're out. And that's when I said no more. And I had a team here, and I'm very proud of the team now of U.S. attorneys, although we're down still 73 from 150. But the truth is that they were not taught to be the tip of the spear, most of them. In Superior Court, I had to fight with people to ask for detention, which is bail for us in New York. I had to fight with them. You ask for bail in every case. The guy is charged with an assault, with a violent crime. What do you mean? The guy strangled a woman. What do you mean? You know, and they said, well, the judges aren't going to give it to us. And Dan, it's the whole changing of the mentality. And it's going fine here. We're much better than we were.
Isn't that crazy? You don't realize how other countries run, you know, the way that they run their countries until you see it on the news. But in your own country, you pretty much assume that in every state, it pretty much is similar, very similar. But Washington, D.C. is way out there. It's way out there when it comes to the way and what you can get away with. The fact that you have all these parents that have teenagers that are running amok in this city, and they're not holding the parents accountable. So why can't they do that? That's what I was thinking about. I'm thinking about sending her a letter and saying, why can't you make a law in Washington, D.C., where if the kids commit a crime with knives or any other weapons in the middle of the night, or, you know, whatever, why can't they hold the parents accountable? Because the parents are not being parents if they're not keeping their underage children at home and keeping them restrained, where they don't have weapons and they are not assaulting people. Because if they have a vehicle driving around, who's paying for the vehicle? Who's putting gas in it? All that kind of stuff. There's got to be ways to be able to hold the parents accountable, because I'm telling you right now, if I got a phone call in the middle of the night and I was told that my teenager was doing some kind of stupid shit, I guarantee that when they got home, I'm beat their ass and they're going to be grounded, like my parents did to me. If I did something stupid, I was too chicken shit of my mother to do some of the dumb shit that I hear that young kids do today. But man, we've got to put some kind of, you know, fence, playpen, or whatever you want to call it, around some of these people, because man, I'm telling you, it sounds like people aren't parents anymore. They just give birth and they don't give a shit. They just let them do whatever they want and throw food at them or whatever, I guess. And and no wonder we're in such dire straits, and we don't even have parents anymore. 2 parents, don't even have one. It sounds like these kids just do whatever they want because they don't have parents at all, and it's pathetic. It was really sad when I first started listening to her. I was like, yeah. But as she went more and more in depth about the way that these people can get away with this shit and how she can't do anything because there's no law for it, I was just shocked. And we're wondering why it's taking so long to clean up so many areas in so many states, because it's gotten so corrupt all the way down to the parents. Now, the parents think, it's not my problem. Yeah, I gave birth to it, but I don't care. It's not my problem. It would be if the parents knew they were going to go to jail for it, or they were going to be fined, $500, $1,000. They have to pay for anything that happened to the person or the property that their kid damaged. The parents should have to pay for it. I mean, I just whip it out of my kid's ass to get my money back, because they wouldn't do it again. I can guarantee it. But I'd like to see some of these parents step up to the plate and take the responsibility of what their kids did. If their kids are doing this kind of stupid shit, because what are they going to turn into? If they're doing this at 15, they're probably already lost by then. I hate to say that, but start holding the parents accountable, period. That's what I think. That's what I would do. That's what I think they should do. But then it's either gonna. But and we got a couple more left. But I thought those were pretty good ones, and a couple of them I didn't even know about. So I don't know if that one is. Let me see. Oh, this one's a pretty good one too, and I've seen this guy before on a few things, but what he's talking about is very interesting, because a lot of us have been talking about being overrun with bots. Because I remember when Bruce and I first started doing our movie review, that every single time we start, within 5 minutes, our chat was just filled with all these real colorful, pretty bots, is what he called them, sex bots or whatever. And they were like, come see our webcams and, all this kind of stuff. But they were real pretty colors, like bright greens and pinks and different stuff like that. I thought they were pretty, but he would, that's when he started doing the subscription thing. So that's how I learned about it, is to try to keep some of the bots out of here. But this guy is going to talk about it, and it's very, very interesting. So I'm going to push play so you guys can hear it. Here we go.
Another mission that has emerged from this that I did not see coming. And maybe we want to segue into what happened the evening of May 4th at 8:30, because I have 12 million plus followers on various social media platforms. I got a call from one of our IT guys, and he said, there's something wrong here. There's a massive influx in DMs going on 2 specific platforms, X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. Not a small increase, tens of thousands of percent increase. I said, well, is it a mistake? Is there a technical glitch on these platforms? He said, unlikely. They're 2 different complete platforms. So he had a first look and he said, wow, there's a lot of similar IP addresses here. And so we did an initial scan, and we realized, wait a second, there is bots operating here. There are nefarious accounts out of the country dumping stuff that's completely false about Utah. So we didn't wait. The next morning we hired and started working with a very advanced data science team. And what we learned was, to me, shocking, just stunning. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I still can't, because I'm getting the data by the 4-hour cycle now. The content itself was coming from 2 batches, 2, like the actual pixels, the images were from the Party for Socialism and Liberation and the People's Dispatch. I'd never heard of them before. You do a search on them, you'll find them under investigation by multiple branches of Congress. Most of the within the IP addresses in Utah were coming from 2 IP addresses, Alliance for a Better Utah and one called Elevate. So we found out that Alliance for Better Utah was actually a tax filer. And we went to the IRS Form 990s, which are public. And we started to drill down into what the filings were. And lo and behold, multiple filings through multiple entities all over the world, all going back to something called Arabella. Neville Singham under investigation, multiple branches of the government, shares offices with the CPP. So then I said, I want more. Can you tell me the exact amounts? And we got those the next day. We're talking about millions, hundreds of millions of dollars here. It's not just Utah. These guys are doing campaigns everywhere there's a proposed increase in power and or a data center. More digging, more. Salt Lake Party for Socialism and Liberation, Salt Lake Democratic Socialists of America. Then this one today, the Cuban Institute for Friendship with the People. What the hell are they doing marching around Box Elder County? I mean, what is this? And so I called my contacts at the White House. I raised the flag and I said, what the hell is going on here? They put me in touch with various law enforcement agents. We had a meeting last week with my entire data set team and multiple law enforcement agencies. And we started sharing data. I gave them 90 pages of IP addresses, all from all over the place, all around the world, hitting these locations. You see where I'm going with this? I'm not okay with this. And I found it in Alberta, Canada, too. So it's there's a war going on, I guess a PR war or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, is what you're suggesting that these entities are sort of taking funds from the Chinese Communist Party and using those funds to sort of run a digital sort of blackmail campaign against your projects?
I'm not suggesting it. It's an irrefutable fact. This is IRS 990 filings with the exact dollars and dates from exactly where it came from. No, I'm not infuting. I'm saying that is exactly what's happening.
Oh, I'm muted. Damn it. Can't believe it. Am I still
That's
muted?
weird. I thought it was on my side.
No. I
couldn't
must have
fix my
bumped
audio.
it with my hand. I must have bumped
Oh
it with
my
my,
God.
with my,
I'm trying to.
my-
I'm not even. I can't. It's again. It's so weird the way I can't. I can't see your face because where it says live, the live count.
It's in front of me. It's in front of me.
It's
My
covering your
No,
face.
it isn't for-
So it suddenly
isn't
went
for-
dark, and I'm going.
Yeah.
I can't hear anything. So I'm shit. My computer's messed up.
No,
Like,
it
oh
was
my
me. I hit it with
Whatever.
my mouse and accidentally muted
Oh,
myself. So,
Here I was. I was busy. What did I do?
oh, but thank you so much because I'm such an idiot. There should be a light that comes on or something, that says, "Hey, you're muted," or a little thing comes up and says, "You're muted. You're not. Nobody can hear you," or something. But oh well. But the thing is,
I thought it was my fault.
No, you're fine. It was me. That's twice. I kicked myself out and then I muted myself twice.
Well, it's his
tonight.
show.
the thing is that yeah, it's a shit show, and it's always a shit show. That's why there's a perfect name for it. But yeah, I really think that all this stuff is interconnected and way high up, and not just in our country, but in others, and how they're all like work together to launder all this money, billions of dollars with B's, right? From our country to their country to that country to this one, whatever. And then little bits of it here and there falling in Iran or other countries, you know, like Ukraine or whatever, to boost these people, to keep them causing havoc. You know what I mean? You know, and with the havoc going on, people are looking at the havoc. They're not looking at the person that dropped the money on accident. You see what I mean? They're not looking the other way. They're looking that way. It's like a misdirection. You know, magic shows do that all the time. So I don't know. I just, I'm expecting something, because we're starting to see a huge rise in actual releasing of information. So I'm believing that something good might be coming out of it. But I only have a couple more things left. But I think they're good. I think they're ones that we need to see. I'm going to play this Ethan one first, because this is to do with Florida. And it's really, really good. I want to share it because I think he's done a great job for Florida. I really do. And I think he's been a good governor. And I've got, you know, quite a few friends and relatives that live in Florida in different places, and they love their governor. They think that he really is a person that loves the state and is trying to do the best for their state. So that's one reason why they send me lots of it, because they want to show me that, you know, look, see, he's doing this, he's doing that. Because, you know, I went, I kind of bashed him a lot at the beginning when he put his hat in the ring and stuff. So, you know, and I'm starting to, you know, maybe I can forgive him for that because he's still doing a damn good job for his state. And that's what he was hired to do as governor. So I'm going to play this for you because I think it's very interesting. Here we go.
With all due respect, this is the United States of America. There was so many
Where are you from?
I'm WSBA Channel 7.
Okay.
My name is Vanessa McCool.
Great, thanks.
United States of America. So many people are being robbed. There's due process. This is wonderful, this dog and pony show. But there's American citizens who are being deported. They show their birth certificates. They show their passports. They show their IDs. And a lot of the work being done is a little sloppy.
Well, first of all, I'll let ICE handle that accusation that you're making, that they're deporting American citizens who are showing birth certificates and all that. I don't believe that that's true, but I'll let them respond to that. But you seem to have no sympathy. You seem to have no sympathy for people that have been victimized by illegal aliens. What about people, you have someone driving drunk and kills American citizen? What about people that have been deported previously and let in under Biden, who then commit sexual offenses or commit homicides? And then we have more victims as a result of the federal government's previous inattention and unwillingness to enforce the law. So there are a lot of people that have been harmed by illegal immigration. There have been people that have been harmed by Tren de Aragua gang members who should not be in this country in the first place. So let's just be clear. Who are you fighting for? We're fighting for the citizens of Florida. We want them to be able to live in a society that upholds the rule of law. We want them to be able to live in a state that is safe. And we have to take action on it. I'll let them address your accusation. But the notion that somehow this is America, therefore we're supposed to have an open border, we're not supposed to enforce immigration laws, we're supposed to just sit on our hands when Biden let in 7 or 8 million people illegally into the country? No, that is not responsible. That is not what our citizens elected us to do. So we're in this fight. I think a lot of these narratives that I hear, to me, just instinctively, I think they're fake narratives because I've seen it happen so many times. But I will let folks at ICE respond to your accusation.
Well, the first thing I'll say is that I think the governor's words really stand on their own. The men and women of ICE are working every single day to protect the communities, working with state and local officials to do our very best to protect the communities after the Biden administration opened our borders, allowed people to come into this country that should have never came into this country in the first place, jeopardizing our families and our communities and putting them in harm's way on a daily basis. The men and women of ICE are going into those communities to protect the men and women in these communities, to be able to do the mission that we've been set on every single day that the president has given us.
349,000 new court cases in 2025 alone. Only 1% are new cases based on alleged criminal activity. So a lot of these people don't have criminal past or background. So who's being arrested and where is this information on ICE's website? It's on court documents, but we can't get this information, and ICE, quite frankly, isn't being very transparent.
Look, I'll stand by the fact that if you're in this country illegally, you are a criminal. You will be deported. You will have the opportunity to be able to come back into this country through the correct immigration processes. We're working through those every single day. But our number one goal is to keep the American people safe from the criminals that are walking in this country that should have never been let through in the first place.
She's awesome. I loved everything she said, because if you came over the border and you didn't follow the rules to can't come here, you're a criminal. You broke the law.
But the thing is that, but here's where it gets kind of stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that everyone says? What about their due process? Okay.
Why should they due process? They're a criminal. They're not American citizens.
Okay. That's not the right answer. The right answer is, what is ICE?
They're supposed to make sure that those people don't
Immigration Customs Enforcement. So they are executing orders that were already put into place. A judge reviewed it. Due process was already done. This is the extraction.
Yeah.
This is the order. You are to be extracted. You missed your court date, or you stayed over. This is the legal process. You overstayed. You shall be returned. So when someone says they don't have due process, that's bullshit. That's, again, the whole idea that again, it's all ICE is. It's an enforcement wing of orders that have been done. If there's a warrant for your arrest, the police come and take you away. There's a warrant for your arrest, ICE takes you away. It's it's as simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But then they're just saying all this stuff, and I saw that they keep saying, oh, they arrested this student, and he was not here. Again, they're just trying to basically play on the emotions, and it's insane. But you have the media is disingenuous in what they do. That's all.
Yeah, and when they show like a mom with her kid standing in front of the ICE trucks and stuff like that, that's all to get people pissed off, thinking that, look, see, they're going to run over that mom and her kid. But why did she take her little toddler with her to a protest? It just, instead of showing them what they're doing and that they're endangering people by breaking the law, by standing in front of ICE trucks or an ambulance or whatever it is, whatever vehicle you're blocking from doing their job, that's breaking the law also. So I don't know. I just think these people are ridiculous, and hopefully we'll be able to clear this mess up. But here is one of the things I wanted to share. I got two after this, and then I'll be finished. But it says, for years, corrupt politicians have been saying Social Security would dry up. Turns out it's because they've been stealing all the money. Why is it that citizens can work 40 years and can't afford to retire, but politicians can work for 4 years and retire for life? So I thought this was pretty interesting. So here we go.
Good afternoon, Martha. And if President Trump has proof from his Doge guys that there is widespread Social Security fraud, that means that there is a widespread federal financial crime happening. And so what do you do if you know that there's a crime happening? You report it. That is just what the president did a little while ago, directly to the attorney general.
We have one person at 360, which is strange because the country is 250. So it's been there 110 years older than the country. Here, Pam, you better take a look at this. That's much better for you than for me. Now the question is, are they getting paid? Because somebody maybe is getting paid. Yeah, I have a feeling you were. I said, what a convenient thing. This is so nice.
For his part, Elon Musk is literally laughing off complaints from liberals that he's got bad intentions with data at the Treasury and Social Security departments.
I mean, listen, like if I steal some Social Security, I can finally buy nice things.
I just think it's full of funny, the whole thing about, just teasing about it. But the thing is, it's common sense. If somebody's cashing checks from somebody that's supposedly 300 years old, they're a criminal, period. There's no other explanation. And to listen to some of these dumbasses, like you just said, reporters asking questions about how we're not letting someone cash their checks or whatever, it's just stupid. I mean, it's getting to where I'm liking this because this is what the Democrats always do. They try to make us look stupid because we're trying to, follow the law, basically, and to show them how stupid they are by saying, it's all well and good. We want people to get their checks, but we common sense tells us that if they're 300 years old, they're not alive. What are you supposed to do? Send checks to mummies or that kind of shit. So I just thought they were funny, and it's good to see that they're fighting back by using, truth, but in a comedic way. I just like that. So you wanted to say something?
No. I'm writing. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I got a couple more things and then I'll be done. But I just thought that was to me, it was really, really funny. But here is one that I think is really good. It's another one of the updates. Like I did earlier, a Canadian man has been sentenced to 33 years in federal prison for targeting over 100 children across the U.S. in one of the FBI's Houston's largest sextortion cases. For years, Ramanan Pathanaman, I can't even pronounce his name properly, 40, used multiple social media accounts to contact at least 145 girls and boys, demanding them to engage in sexually explicit conduct. If they declined, he threatened to send compromising images to their children's friends or family. This was a years-long investigation by FBI Houston Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. But this is what their job is. This is what they're supposed to be doing. And I think it's great to post it and share it with people because, it's sad that this person was allowed to do this to 145 kids before they were arrested, but now he's in jail for 33 years in a federal prison. So hopefully the kids will be safe for a little while, at least from him. But it's sad that we even have to have cops to do this kind of job. It's sad that we have people online preying on your children, our children, all of our children and other people, not just kids, but it's sickening that we have people that will do this kind of stuff. As I watched a show about, I think it was Nancy Grace, and she had a young man, I think he was like 12 or 13 years old, and he was on Snapchat, and he thought he was talking to a girl his age. And I guess they were pretty convincing, and they'd sent pictures or whatever. And so he sent some pictures, suggestive pictures of himself to this person. Well, then this person turned around and told him that I'm going to share these pictures with, all your friends in your school, whatever else, unless you pay me with PayPal this much money every week. And he was like, I'm a kid, this is paid for by my parents. I don't have a job. I don't have money. And he ended up killing himself in his front yard because he was so embarrassed about what happened to him. And the parents had to go to court to fight Snapchat to give them the information so they could prosecute this person. Pretty sad, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That this kind of shit happens in our country, in America. But the thing is, that's why this stuff is important. And it's important as parents to know what your kids are doing on their phones. Don't give anyone that can't afford to buy this phone themselves, okay, and they live in your house, don't give them a phone unless you have the password. Know everything that's on that phone. What have they downloaded on? Who are they talking to? All that stuff. I think it's important, and be able to take their phone at any time and look and see who they're talking to, because it doesn't take very long for them to get a hold of you, and then them send pictures. But you should have a good relationship with your kids about sick people that are on here pretending to be a kid to get information from you. And if they click on links and stuff, your whole everything on there, it can be compromised and taken from you. Your account numbers, your social security numbers, your driver's license information, anything that's on that phone can be taken. So you should have that type of control over your kids' phones. If you're paying the bill, I mean, shit, it's they're $900, something like that. Some of these phones, I think that you have the right to know what's on it if you're the one paying the bill. That's all I wanted to add. And I got one more that I want to bring up really quick. Just hold on. Let me close that out. And I thought it was pretty interesting. But it's the oversight chair on fraud, for the crackdown. And I want to share this one real quick. This is the last one I had. Hopefully I don't kick myself out. I'm so sorry. But can you see it? Okay. It says House Oversight Chair James Comer says that Somali Rep Ian Omar was caught red-handed trying to sneak in a budget earmark for a business that ended up being fraudulent. So I'm not going to read it out because he's going to talk about it in here. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea what this is going to be about. But this is pretty funny, the whole way it's done.
You have not investigated anything. Here's her. Watch.
House Republicans looking into the net worth of you and your husband. Are you cooperating with that investigation and providing the documents?
Looking into anything. They're just saying those things to get interviews with you guys. There's nothing really happening.
They're saying it's a red flag.
Investigated anything. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't referred me to anybody. He's just saying that so he can get TV interviews because you guys will only talk to them if they say something about me.
Says you haven't investigated anything, Chairman. It's basically all for attention.
Yeah, she's delusional and she knows better. She's trying to say she made a mistake on her financial disclosure form. No one makes a $30 million mistake on your financial disclosure form, especially if you don't have any assets. If you're Donald Trump or some very wealthy person, 30 million might be a rounding error. But for someone who alleges now she has nothing, that's a pretty big rounding error. And it all stems around two basic things, the problem she has. First of all, she asked for an earmark for a project that was later proven to be a fraudulent project that was involved in that Somali scam up there. And then secondly, she claimed her assets were huge because of this winery that we know has been shut down that according to rumors and press reports was defrauding investors.
Yeah, Congressman, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We'll continue looking into this as you will.
I just thought that was hilarious because even when they're confronted with stuff right in front of them, they're still going to lie. So, and when she goes to court, she's going to say, I paid the fifth. I mean, more than likely, that's what she's going to do. Because nobody wants to admit any of it, even though they're caught red-handed with the hands in the cookie jar and the crumbs all over their face in their lap. So it's pretty pathetic. But since that was the last thing I had before we close, is there anything you would like to tell everyone that you're got going on?
Not much. Well, I do want to share one thing, because again, just because it's important to me, I want to share the obituary information so that people can, know what's going on here, what happened. I mean, we find out real quick. Hold on, pull it up here. Just because it's on my Facebook, but again, I want to basically share it here, because again, it's like sad that somebody passed away that used to be my fiance, and years ago, and I took care of her. It's just horrifying that she suddenly dies.
Did you find out what happened?
She had a pneumonia. Basically, it's like Kyle Busch in a way. It's kind of weird. She had pneumonia, and she went to sepsis, and she had hepatitis. And it just was terrifying, it just went really bad. Here, let me do this real quick. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Let me see here. Oh God, I can't get this right. Okay, it's a long one. I'll just send it to you so you can send it out.
Are you going to put it in the private?
I'll put it in the private.
Okay.
Oh my God, are you kidding? I hate when it does that.
Hey, I'm not going to say anything. I've already made 3 boo-boos tonight. I'm just
no. Well, what's going on now, what I hate is it doesn't put the link. It puts the let me see here. Paste as plain text. Oh God, it's crazy. Yeah. So I'll do it that. And you can click on that and share it real quick and put in the chat. I know it's a long one. But again, it's important that, I want people to remember who she was, because again, here's what happened. I'll tell you the story really quickly. A very short story. And you want to share it or no?
Yeah, I'm sharing it. I had to post it, and open it. Sorry. Now I'm sharing it. It's all right. There you go.
No, it's fine. So then you can make it a little bigger so people would see. So
how do I do that?
Just excuse me?
How do I make it bigger?
You make it. You zoom in.
How do I zoom in? I don't know how to do it with my mouse.
On the top right hand side, you should see something on your. It makes it bigger to zoom in. You don't see that?
You
want me to share it?
Yeah.
Here, let me share.
Sorry, I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I got it. Hold on. Real quick. Share video, image, share screen.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, there you go.
I can go make it bigger.
There you go.
See, I can make it bigger. Yeah, so then basically what happened here, I'll just tell you really quickly. I met her on August 29th, 2020. And I was staying in a hotel because my wife's stuff my wife passed away in February 18th, 2019. So when I went to get her things out, I had to move to a new apartment. When I put all the stuff in there, I couldn't go into the apartment. So I said, screw this. I'm tired. I'm going to go to a hotel and stay there. So I did. And the next day I ran into her, and then basically was with her for a weekend. And then after that, right after that, she said, let's not talk to each other for a week, because it was a very intense relationship when it started. Mm-hmm. So what happened is a week, she said, call me in a week, because I don't want to talk. I can't talk to anybody right now. I'm just like, whatever. She was just out of it. It was too much. So a week later, I contacted her and we went out to dinner, and that was our first date, per se. And then the next day after that, my father passed away. So I had to go to Texas and everything like that. And it was just crazy. So I went back with her, and the cutest story was she told me after the fact, because the dinner was over already. Because it was a dinner and then a funeral. She told me the following. And again, look at her. She at the time she was 30, 37 or whatever, very young girl, and very pretty. And she said the following to me. She basically said to me, I was very nervous going on a date because she hadn't dated because she was married, and she hadn't, and now she's single, so she hadn't been on a date, and I was the first man that she went out with. And what she said to me, which was very sweet, very cute, was she wanted to get dressed up really nice for me, so she did, and she dressed up and everything like that. And there was one problem. That one problem was she couldn't find her shoes. So all she had was tennis shoes. And she was self-conscious that when I saw her, I would notice the shoes and it would be a very disaster. But she said the following to me. But the moment that you saw me and I saw you, I looked into your eyes, and it didn't matter what I was wearing because you were looking at my eyes and you were smiling at my face. I didn't look at her body. I looked at her to her eyes. So that was an important thing. So then basically the best analogy there, if it's a cute thing, it's like a little girl who dressed up but has dirty shoes, but the little boy didn't care because he was looking at the beautiful girl. And back on March of this past year, she was sexually assaulted and at gunpoint and robbed, and she came to stay with me. I've been taking care of her, and she had night terrors and all that stuff, but and it's a really hard life, and she basically got sick, went to the hospital, and again it's the same thing. It was hepatitis, and it's septic. And she went in on May 5th and passed away the morning of May 8th. It was just suddenly, just like Kyle Busch. And she was only 43. So there's going to be a celebration of life I'll turn it off now. There's going to be a celebration of life for her, going to be on July 25th. I'm going to go there, and I've already given everything away to her family. I'm going to donate all her clothes to a women's shelter. I still have her phone because her phone got cut off, so I was taking care of the phone so she could still communicate with her kids and all that stuff. So I did my duty, and that's the one thing that
you were a good friend. You're a good friend.
That's the one thing that people tend to forget. When you have people out there saying, you know what, we can't send these people back. We can't do these things. It's we. What are you doing? And they show you where they have, you were supporting ICE or not against ICE, and you want here you have to take these people in. No, I can't do it. You see it that they don't want to do it. So they're all talk, no action. And here's the thing. I can't find work. I'm on disability. I can't walk. Yet she calls and says, help me. And I said, come on over. I will take care of you. Because that is the right thing to do when you are presented with something. You have to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, and again, it's biblical when you think about it. When you're on the road and you see somebody down, broken down, what do?
You
stop?
pull over and help them.
Yeah, you do. You should. And I've always done that, where if somebody has a flat tire, I stop if I can. I've done it before. I hear a girl screaming, I intervene.
Mm-hmm.
Have to. Again, it's not about the consequence. Oh, it could be a scam. It could be this. It could be that. No, you have to do the right thing. Each soul is precious. Each soul is unique, and people are not seeing that. They see only what they want to see. They only want to do what they want to do. And I did what I can. And now it's like my task is done and I'm moving on. But I want her to be remembered, not for her life, the tragic portion, but of the good portion, of the things that she did. You know, she was very intelligent. She graduated double major biology and psychology from Loyola.
Mm-hmm.
She was very pretty, and then she had stalkers, you know, people going after her, and then they were still doing that. And she's had a rough life. But the point is, you do what's right for somebody when you have that task, and that's what you have to do. So I want her to be remembered as somebody who I cared about, someone that I loved, and someone that you do right by. That's the most important thing.
Well, you did. So you did what you thought you had to.
Yeah, and then I'm at peace now, because what happened is I since I have her phone, I'm basically slowly cutting everything off. I was waiting for her. I needed the obituary so I could tell Facebook to shut her account down, to memorialize it. Mm-hmm. And I've done that 3 times now. I memorialized my mother's first in 2012, and I memorialized my wife 2019. Now I memorialize Danelle's in 2026. So I have been the contact for 3 women, and that's what you do. You have to do that. You know, that's the thing I am. Women should be cared for. They're precious, and they're the commodity, the commodity of life. Women are. And again, the way I describe it is, you know, women's it's the opposite. A woman's energy is large, it's huge, like gigantic, and a man's energy is tiny and small, compact. And it's the reverse, that a man is big and strong and a woman is delicate. That's the duality. But what's also important is that's why when a man can encompass the woman, you have the woman's energy, it's all over the place, and you have the man's energy, it's concentrated, but the man expands and engulfs the woman, and then they become one in balance. That's where the balance comes from. And that the thing is, biologically, that's how it works. Mm-hmm. Psychologically, that's how it works. Mathematically, that's how it works. Everything should be in balance, and the world is out of balance right now. We have to make the balance again. So that's what we're doing.
Yep. One day at a time, too.
Yep. But that's basically it. To say about that.
Well, I just want to tell everybody, tomorrow I'll be playing D&D Pathfinder all day, starting around 12:30, and then Sunday. We are going to review the last Dirty Harry movie. I can't remember the name of it. I'm terrible with names, but that's what we'll be doing on Sunday. So if you want to come and check us out, just make sure you turn on the notification thing for my channel, and you can come and say hi if you want. But that's all I got planned. But thank you, everybody who hung out with us for a couple hours, 3 hours. I told you I had a lot of stuff on my thing I had to start. But it was a lot of different information, and all had to do with different types of fraud with our country. But thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the outro of Tim Tebow Foundation. for kids. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.
Boys and girls all over the world are being abused and tortured.
The worst moments of these children's lives, they're being videotaped and they're being shared with other offenders all over the world.
Many people would refer to this as CSAM, child sexual abuse material.
They are suffering and they don't think that anyone is coming to help them. But we can. We can build that army and we can go get them.
Come be a part of this team that is trying to push back this evil.